The future is here. An innovation that will change the way the industry works. A Hot 100 chart, updated daily. The most accurate price guide on the market. Every card has its own profile with a wealth of information. Know the precise, real-time value of any card in the system. On demand. You now have the power to unlock the secrets of the hobby. The game changer is here. Card Ladder.
Yo, what's up? Hold on 1 second.
I'm running super behind tonight.
Okay,
1 second.
real quick.
Go ahead and give the intro.
Yeah, let me do this. Let me do this too. On the Card Ladder YouTube, SEC episode number 3 is out. Just came out. New Year's episode. You know, so please subscribe to the Card Ladder YouTube channel. Check out our more highly produced, condensed show. We would greatly appreciate it. Okay.
Yo,
Let me close that out. Obviously, today is January 1st of 2021, and as soon as that clock hit 12:01 a.m., everything got instantly better, and 2020 was in the rear view, and so we're starting off on a great new foot in 2021. We should also give a shout out to Jeremy of Sports Cards Live on YouTube, who will be hosting Josh as the premiere episode on Sports Cards Live. And then for dessert, there is an after hours with me. That is tomorrow night. So if tonight's 2+ hours isn't enough for you, there will be 4 hours probably of more hobby content tomorrow. I'm trying to think about anything other introductory to say.
Is SEC live yet?
SEC is live right now. It is premiering right now, and there are some people in the chat over there. I just fired off a quick message to them telling them to come over here because they can go watch the SEC later. But yeah, SEC is live. You can come in. Christina. Christina's sneaking into the room even later than we started, but it is live. So just subscribe to the Card Ladder YouTube. You will not miss an episode. So I think that's about it by way of introductory remarks. Also just to say Happy New Year.
Yes, sir. All right. I have a couple mail days. Can I do them real quick?
Let's go.
All right. Hang on, let me get caught up. Super behind today. All right. First, got to give a shout out. I hope Adam's on. Mr. Lefko. I also received a serial numbered auto from Adam Lefko on his own card, 6 of 50. I believe you got 23 of 50.
Yep.
So
He's
I got
running
6.
out now.
And also, check this is for you, Chris. Actually, more for Christina.
What is it? I can't hold on. I'm going.
It's a Luca.
Okay. All right. Let's go, baby.
There we go. I traded a Zion Prism Silver and a Zion Prism Base for this. Dude, people are crazy. They'd rather have a rookie silver pop 2,000 and a pop 20,000 base than a, out of 10 Second year gold.
I guess so, dude. That's a pretty sweet card. That
Dude, I
is a
love.
pretty freaking sweet card.
It's one of my favorite select designs. I had to have it. It's like,
Well, so the real question is, which one has more room for growth?
yes. I don't know. And then I got this guy. I've had this card like 5 or 6 times, but I always come back to it.
Yeah, that's a sweet card. It's a sweet card. I have an even deeper understanding, I think, of why you got that one.
Yes, you do. I had to fill the void, my friend. I had to fill the void.
Because it's just such a great picture. It really is. It's one of the great LeBron Panini era action shots.
Up 64. That's pretty low for Prism. Isn't his Laker one?
Oh,
Let's see what
my
it's
God.
doing.
His Laker one's got to be 50x that at least.
PSA
That
10.
might be,
50.
that might be an exaggeration.
It's 1,800 on the pop. So what's 60
1,800.
times 50?
60 times 50 would have been 3K, so I might be slightly off.
Well, it's about 26x, so.
Yeah, you just can't even compare. I love that era of Prism when there was more chrome finish on the card, and you know, like 2014 really took that to the extreme. But I love that 2013 just struck the right balance.
Maybe I think I've showed this one, but man, I just love select golds. This is like the, there's like the gold wave, which you taught me doesn't. I thought the gold waves were serial numbered. You correctly pointed out they are not, so I never took the gold wave.
Yeah, gold wave is something else. I'm pretty sure that's a very recent addition to Panini products. Like I think it might have even started this year.
Well, I saw someone posted like a gold wave LeBron PSA 10, and they were like pop 9. I was like pop 9, dang, they're giving all of them 10s. Every 9 out of the 10 got a 10. And then you said that, and I was like, wait a minute, that makes more sense that there's not actually 10 of them.
Yeah, they are short printed, but I'll just stick to the true gold out of 10s if possible.
It's an important lesson though, like, unless you're just all about the looks and stuff, but it is important to know like the serial numbers, the rarity on the SPs and the SSPs, and like you need to know how many of something you're buying before you buy it. Because if you're like, oh, this thing's gold, it's Panini, it's got to be just as good as the gold, the regular gold. I'm sure people will want it just the same. And then once you dig in and find out, oh my gosh, there's a lot more of these, it's a little bit more of an oddball, like forced insert or forced parallel from Panini, again. So you got to like realize that.
Yeah, you do. And we all have to keep close watch on Panini and signal to them that we do not like overproduction and pushing the prestige of gold to like absurd limits. Like keep gold special. Yeah, like Brett says, search gold Prism on eBay is loaded with gold wave listings. Yeah, I mean, we don't dilute the gold. Do not dilute the gold. You and me were chatting this week, and we're like, one of Panini's best contributions to the hobby has been the introduction and the sustenance of the gold out of 10 parallel across products. It should stay that way. So we need to, speak with our dollars, speak with our voices.
The issue is that now they're doing like, there's like inserts to Prism Optic Select, and those inserts have gold parallels. And so that's where it gets a little tricky too. Like even this one isn't the true Select gold. This is like the secondary or second level or whatever, if you will. If you're thinking back to finance, this is like the second best one, the Concourse. But
right.
It's tough, dude. Optic has the one, Prism has the one, Select has three golds, like three, yeah. And the third level is like the checkered gold. Ugh.
Yeah.
Back to a simpler time, dude. One gold.
One gold. That's what Topps Chrome continues to do, the gold thing pretty well in baseball.
Do they?
Yeah.
But I thought people I've heard that in baseball gold isn't even like one of the main ones anymore. It's like one of them, but people don't chase it like they do in basketball. It's more of like the orange and the red, and
Yeah.
there's like another one that I'm missing.
That's true.
But
Orange and red, I believe, are more rare than the gold is also. So I think that factors in too.
like black gold and shimmers are more rare than gold, and everyone wants gold, you know. So it's like,
Yeah, don't forget about your favorite. Here, check this out. Willie McGinnis, 3 of 5. No Huddle 2020 Prism Green Disco, baby.
green disco. Hello.
Let's go. Okay, so, yeah, sometimes the rarity feels a little more manufactured than other times.
It's like you need to find the perfect balance of rarity plus like a consistent color that people can attach themselves to for many years. And gold, I know that the orange and the red has been around for a long time, like more than 10 years for baseball. So people have now sort of like come to agree over time. You know, it's a lot of the consistency of it, like you said.
Pretty much. Okay, shall I dive into some topics because we have a million of them?
And since I rambled, yes, go.
No, it was a good opening. Okay, so normally I don't do the let's pat ourselves in the back messages, but in the spirit of the new year, let me just read one that we got from a gentleman named Brian Giangelini, and I thought he just nailed it. I thought he summed up what we like to do here on the show. He said, "How about for tonight a thank you for helping many people, whether new to the hobby or getting back in after being away for many years, or long-time hobby people who needed a fresh take. In my opinion, you guys toe the line of being passionate collectors of your respective players to also dabbling in prospecting for cards that will appreciate and value. Never selling cards to people, but selling the fact that if you just take a look at the hobby, you can find your spot in it, which enables you to acquire cards you never thought you could and making good calls on players you believe in, but never without the reality of being wrong sometimes. Thank you, and to many more great things to learn from you guys and other people who have the same message as you." So there's no question. That was just a great comment from Brian. Just wanted to share it with you and, thank Brian because I think that pretty much sums up exactly what we want to do. Would you agree with that?
Dude, that was amazing. So thanks a lot to whoever wrote that. You and I we do it for that, right? We do it to know that like people are getting help and people are growing in the hobby, and it doesn't hurt to have it said to us. Feels good. When you said we're gonna pat ourselves on the back, I instinctively pulled this up. Is that wrong? My bad.
Let's talk about that because Lamim James shared this, and that's the Neymar Prism base PSA 10, I think, right?
Yes. Sorry. Yep.
And Lamim James shared this to his story today, and it just made me think a little bit. I sent the screenshot to you, and I said, hey, basically, should we talk a little bit about this? Because it's not all flowers and roses in the hobby. Sometimes things can go. Sometimes the ride ends. So this card went from like $4,300 at the peak to like $250 now.
Man, that's a similar graph.
And there's a lot of argumentation around the time that it was peaking about, is this sustainable? Is it not? And people made good faith, reasonable arguments to say that soccer is a very popular worldwide sport, which it obviously is. The counter to that was that, but it doesn't quite have the same collecting history. So is that enough to carry it over the finish line? And it's still in the very early innings of soccer, but let's just talk a little bit about soccer cards now that we have a much larger sample size to look at.
Well, there's two things I can pull from it. One, I told you so. No, I'm just kidding. The first one is the first one that I noticed was like it went up so fast in such a short amount of time that like whenever that happens, you just have to take profit. There's no second guessing. There's no event that's coming up a year after this that's going to keep it that high, and like nothing can go up that fast and not correct because people want to take profit, so everyone's taking profit. Second, I have pulled up here on the graph is that the rare stuff from soccer took a similar jump during that time. So you can see here is where the base jumped, and then this Ronaldo took like a similar slope, but the base stuff with high pop went back down, and then the rare stuff actually kept going up. Granted, it was only 2 sales, but the market reacted to the base stuff with it going back down, and it reacted to the rare stuff by saying, you know what, I do think soccer is here to stay. Let's keep investing in it, and it went up. So this is more, I think, pointing out that like the supply and demand of this played itself out more than just like people didn't decide they loved soccer and then hated soccer, within a 1 month span or whatever. It was just a overreaction, hype, supply and demand situation that played itself out. That's how I see this. But I think, like we saw on the SEC, we pointed out like Federer was the best performing card of the entire year annually. So I think, soccer still falls into that category that had a great year, and people now look at soccer cards. There's a lot of people that have jumped into it and they're having fun with it and they're excited. You just got to be careful when you're jumping into something new and making sure you're understanding population reports, market caps, trends, and using card ladder helps with all that stuff.
I love how you were able to just be like, okay, so we know that the base card had a meteoric rise and then it absolutely plummeted, but your philosophy was like, but I bet if I pull up a rare soccer card, it will not have followed the same trajectory.
Yep.
And sure enough, the rare one didn't. And the same holds true for like the early Messi cards. Those have been super popular. Some of them went up and then came back down a little bit, but they did not go from $4,300 to $250.
Yeah, look how much more consistent this one is, right? It's just like a steadier growth.
Absolutely. And the thing with the rare cards too is that you can't just go on eBay and get them whenever you want. You have to wait. You have to look at those auction previews. You have to be constantly checking the auction houses. You have to be talking to your network. You have to know what cards to look for. You have to know what grade you want. You have to be patient. You have to be willing to pass on stuff in order to hold out to get the rare stuff. It's a lot harder to collect the rare stuff than it is the commodity milk cards.
Yeah. And the same is happening. The same situation is playing itself out in other markets. Pokemon, it'll happen to Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Digimon cards or whatever else pops up where people get hyped on it. Sealed video games, like this same kind of stuff. The high population stuff will attract the newcomers and the hype, and they're going to all jump on that one single thing that they can all get their hands on easily, and it's going to go up. And then it's going to go down when people start taking profits. But the rare stuff, it doesn't fluctuate that way because there's not any supply.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Yeah. So good. That's the market update on soccer going into the new year. I have a great question about all this exquisite stuff that has been posted on Instagram over the last day or two. Should we save that for hour 2 though? Or do you want to talk about that now? What do you think?
Let's just do it now.
All right. So this comes from GMI Flips. He says, please discuss Shine 150's exquisite collection, specifically all the one-of-ones, and how the F did he get them all? So that is the topic I think a lot of us on here are thinking about. I'll tell you like real quick, like my take when I saw that unbelievable collection unearthed. I'm gonna let Josh fill in the history on it. He knows it more than me, but the fact that level of cardboard was brought together and curated and formed into a collection was one of the most confidence-inspiring, awe-inspiring, sublime things I'd experienced in the hobby, to just sit back and marvel that a collector had put that together and kept it together over many, many years. It was just very exciting. I love to see it. Let me pause there. Could you maybe fill in some of the public knowledge about that kind of that collection?
Yeah, I'll keep it to what's known publicly. I don't have too much more details in the private stuff, but basically there was a collector out of Puerto Rico, and he had amassed all of those cards. Everything you've seen on all these accounts, Fifth Down Sports Cards, Shine 150, Ken Golden, all of those came from one guy. and he amassed this collection starting in 2003 when Exquisite was released, and he collected through 2007, I believe. And I don't know like the exact figures. Someone else can chime in if they do, but I believe he had like basically every card you could possibly have from 2003 Exquisite through 2006. Like one-on-one stuff, as you can see, one of two cards, like the number pieces stuff where it's like serial numbered to players' jerseys with like Baron Davis is a one-on-one, stuff like that. And I think he was missing like just very few from all those years of all the one. It's really like you can't quite wrap your arms around it, to be honest. And you guys have seen how much of that there was. So he was selling his collection, liquidating it, and to my knowledge, it went through Shine 150 and Ken Golden. They were the main recipients of the majority of it, and then they started dispersing it through different collectors. Fifth Down Sports got a lot of it. I actually have one card from that collection. The limited logos that I recently bought came from that. It went through a couple other people before it got to me, but that did come from that collection. So it was just like a massive, insane collection. And they graded a lot of it with BGS, and the rumor was that like BGS was really tough on all of it. So like a lot of those cards are like mine was an 8.5, and on the PWCC video he was talking about how it should be a 9.5, and there's like a bunch of BGS 7s that came up, like LeBron RPA BGS 7s and 7.5s. Nat ended up getting a lot of it. So Nat got the 3 dual logo mans from 2003, the famed, like mythical dual logo mans, the Kobe LeBron, Jordan LeBron, and LeBron Kobe. He got all 3 of those from that collection. And there's just a bunch of other stuff. And that, as you can see now, Shine has the triple logo man from 04. Adam Rowe, Breakers Row, ended up getting a dual auto logo man Jordan LeBron from 04, which is the first ever logo man auto on card from those two guys together, which is an insane card as well. Just bananas, man. Just crazy cards. And it's crazy because like you see them all together like that, and you almost like start getting numb to it. You're like, oh yeah, like we get it. But all of those are like one of ones. It's just like it's just too insane to have them all together like that. It makes them like feel less rare when they're all together like that, but they are just like cards that have never been seen before.
That's amazing. I didn't know that your limited logos came from that collection. That just makes it even more awesome in my opinion.
Yes, sir. Did anybody correct me on anything? I think I got most of the details.
Well, Grant says he got a little piece of it too.
Grant got a triple from it.
There you go. There's a piece of it. Brian, Mr. September says the question is, why would that guy even sell it? Do you have any insight on that?
No, other than, maybe he's just wanting to retire. And I mean, he stopped collecting in 2007, and I don't have all the facts, but like if you stop in 2007 and then you pop your head up in 2020, you're probably thinking, oh my God, this stuff is worth, many magnitudes more than what I paid for it. And it's easy for us to be like, oh, just keep it. That stuff's awesome. But like when you're presented with the opportunity to like have generational money put at your table, things change. So
yeah, it does. And it's amazing. Like, you were kind of talking about the velocity of some of these cards and how they actually, once they were passed on to a new owner, then several of them got recycled 2, 3, 4 times over a span of, a year. Whereas those cards had been sitting in a collection for 10 plus years.
15
for one time. That's just like remarkable to think about, like the steadiness of a collection just sitting together like that. And it kind of gave me a take just about one of the reasons why I just love to see a collection like that, a collection like Nat's, a collection like Andy from Fifth Down, a collection like Shines. I love seeing these collections because you can really sense from the way that they're curated and by the cards that are selected and just by the way they talk about and share their collections that these are like collections that these people might have for the rest of their lives. And the purpose of collecting is for the love and the purity of collecting and for the connection to the sport, the nostalgia, the connection to to the history that these pieces convey and that they have within them, and just for the pride of ownership and the respect and the prestige that accompanies putting together a collection like that. And as the body of collectors and hobbyists and investors and people in the sports card industry, as that body grows and grows, having been the person to put together collections like that, it just becomes more and more prestigious as more and more people understand the significance of accomplishing a task like that. And that's the hobby that is that logic of the hobby, that lens of looking at the hobby, thinking of the hobby that way. I mean, these are great collectors who, will be absolutely fine if they never sell any of the cards in their collection ever. And in a collectibles market, those are the type of people who should be controlling and dominating it, are people who are chasing something higher than the investment dimensions of cards. Not to say the investment dimension isn't great and it doesn't matter, it does, but there's a higher purpose to these collections that's very admirable. And in a collectibles market, you need that. And it sends a great signal from the top down that these collections are amassed for the prestige, the respect, the history, the accomplishment, just all things are just higher than just the monetary value that attaches to those cards. And as long as that's the case, I am so bullish on this hobby, because the great cards will continue to be swallowed up rather than recycled. And that's, I think, is a recipe to sustainable growth. So I just wanted to get on my soapbox for a minute and talk about how happy I felt about that.
Yeah, well said, man. It was just a win for collectors everywhere for sure. And I've talked to several. I mean, everyone's kind of heard the story by now, and so all of like the high-end guys that I know, they have all kind of like known about him for a long time, and it's basically like the great, it is like the greatest collection that's ever been amassed by one person.
Yeah,
it's just it really can't be matched.
It just shows like how like grassroots we are and how like young we are as a hobby, as a content community, that like there should be a Fortune cover story written about that collection, in my opinion. All right. Fortune magazine, Forbes magazine. That should be on the New York Times, Sunday magazine. There should be multiple stories written about that. So like the fact that it's not, and that like really, this is pretty much the depth of treatment that it's going to get, is you and I talking about it on a Friday night for 10 or 15 minutes. We have so long to go in this hobby. We have so far to go still. It's kind of exciting.
I have a bit of advice. If anyone ever runs into a situation where they have cards like that, just, obviously at a smaller scale, because no one's ever going to have that much ever again. You got to auction that stuff. Rodman pointed out, I think there was a lot of money left on the table, at least from what I've heard, and you got to auction that stuff. It's got to get in front of everyone's eyeballs. Ken Golden auctioned a lot of it, which was great, and there were some really high dollars on some of those, but some of these other ones, auction it. You'll get your full value. Figure out, work with the auction houses, determine what situation is best for you, and work and have them work with you. And maybe you need to space it out if you need to sell stuff. If I ever sold my whole collection, it's going to auction. It's
Definitely.
like I'm calling PWCC, I'm calling Golden, I'm calling Heritage, and saying, "Here's what I have. Let's talk. Like, what do I need to do?" Because you never want to feel like you left money on the table. You don't want to feel like you overcharge someone. Auction is the true determination of market value of your cards, and that would have been pretty crazy to auction all of that stuff, though. To be fair, like I'll be fair about it. That a lot of that stuff is just so much, man. You could just flood the market with all these auctions. It would be impossible. You'd have to like auction it out over years almost. So tough situation. Tons of cards, tons of people involved. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is. Weekend Up Nate says, instead of the Emmys, can we have the Jemmies award show annually? You like that, Christina? No? Yeah. There's an idea. The Jemmies instead of the Emmys. We need all that type of infrastructure in the hobby, man, that we don't have it yet. But we need it.
Let's just think of Office, the Dundies. Dude, that would be cool. We should just do that.
The Jemmies or whatever.
Yeah, we nominate like a.
If only someone wanted to do that on this week's episode of SCC.
Yeah, but someone had the idea but didn't do the work.
No, someone was flat out told no.
It should be done. It definitely should be done.
That's right, Grant. Wine and dine me, sir. I'm not going to be selling my collection in secret. Like, I want to be wine and dined if I ever get to that point.
My understanding is that the auction houses will they'll give you their estimate of what they think it would bring at auction, and engage in further discussions about ways to make sure everybody benefits, because auction houses obviously would love to have big cards, any cards, but especially big cards, pass through their doors.
Well, hopefully the auction houses have card ladder.
Yeah, that'll help them. That would definitely help them. Okay, let's move on. Unless, do you have anything else you want to add? I mean, it honestly was a momentous occasion to see such a great collection revealed, like in photos like that. Okay. All right, let's move on. Let's do a little bit of NBA talk. This comes from Slabs to Men. Peter of Slabs to Men wants to know, Ja Morant was on his way to take over as the player from the 2019 class. Even with his injury and his current absence, do you guys feel that Morant will prove to be the better overall player between he and Zion? That's a very specific question. But let's just talk about the Ja Morant thing for a little bit. Get some thoughts flowing here.
I'll let you jump in on like what his prices have done since the injury, but to me the injury is just like a friendly, humbling reminder that like anything can come crashing down at any moment. So if you're spending tens of thousands of dollars on someone that's that young and actively playing, just remember Derrick Rose can happen at any moment. And we saw it where like he could have had something more serious. And so do you really want to be risking that much of your money on something like that? I'll let you speak to like the market reaction of just how much he's gone up early in the season and then like what's happened since.
Yeah, well, I'm going to look at the Morant Prism Base PSA 10 as a sort of a general proxy for the hobby's general sentiment towards him. So in the last 3 months, this card has sold 749 times on eBay alone. That's a tremendous number of sales. The population is over 12,000. So this is about as close to a commodity card as you're going to get. Now, 3 months ago, in the beginning of October, when the hobby was at a very low point, the card was selling for $390. It got as high as $776 on December 27th, which I believe is a day or two before he got injured. So the card basically doubled over the 3-month span from its low to its high. And most recently, yesterday, New Year's Eve, the card sold about half a dozen times for an average price of $699. So, the card is still selling quite a bit. It is, for the first time in months, moving in the other direction. It's moving down now. And the hobby always has when the hobby is reacting rather than trying to get ahead of the curve, because it does both. But when the hobby is in reactionary mode, it's usually a day or two behind the news. It just takes a little time for the news to sink in, for it to filter to everybody, and for the enthusiasm to figure out, for people to figure out what's going on. So I think we will be interesting to watch what happens here, and we'll get an answer really quickly as to how much of Morant is speculating, how much is investing. This isn't a shock, right? Like both Zion and Morant, it has been widely stated by commentators on this topic that they both have a style of play like Derrick Rose had, very explosive, requires a lot of hard planting and driving, a lot of vicious landings after going aerial, and that is a relatively risky way to play. So it shouldn't be a surprise that the guy's going to have an ankle injury from time to time. It was a grade 2 ankle sprain. He's expected to miss about 4 weeks. So it's not end of the world here or anything, but we'll get to take a quick temperature on the hobby here and figure out how much of this Morant buying was based on the idea that this guy's gonna have a great long-term career versus how many people are willing to just kind of throw their hands up and dump his cards right now and move on. So we'll see. Time will tell.
Westbrook also has that style, and he's remained very healthy over his career, so it's definitely possible. But also keep in mind, Westbrook's cards have not maintained pace for different reasons. But just because he's young and exciting and explosive, and that's good for the hobby, doesn't mean that's going to translate to long-term value. Because Westbrook hasn't really been able to maintain that quite as much as we would hope. I mean, of course, every time I freaking say that, I pull up a graph of those guys' prices going up.
Yeah, well, I always go back to this. Derrick Rose's cards set all-time highs this year. You just think about what that actually means. You just unpack that a little bit. Like, wait a minute, Derrick Rose was youngest MVP in NBA history, had insane hype, finally an heir apparent to Michael Jordan in Chicago, and his cards are selling for more now when he's a role player, and he's hopping from team to team over the last few years versus, way back when he was absolutely on top. And, I think the story that tells is that the hobby is so much bigger now than it was 10 years ago.
You gotta compare them relative to each other. Like, Ja Morant prices are 10x what Russell Westbrook prices are, and 10x, 50x Chris Paul. It's just kind of nuts. I think about it relative terms like that, and I know that we've talked about how the relative terms can also get you in trouble to where you infinitely raise each other, but just keep those things in mind.
Yeah. So who do you think? All right. So then the spirit of the question was basically compare Zion and Morant, and I'll tell you, I've watched a little bit of the Grizzlies, I've watched a little bit of the Pelicans, and I look at stats from time to time. So this is just a very introductory level take, but Zion seems to be the second offensive option on the Pelicans right now. He's averaging 1 assist per game, and about 20 points, I think, or something like that, maybe 22. And Brandon Ingram is averaging more points and more assists, and Ingram kind of seems to be the offensive engine for that team right now. Maybe it's like a 1A and a 1B situation. So I don't know if that's what people were expecting was going to play out in New Orleans, and maybe that's just, some of this developed over the short term and it changed over the long term. But I think, myself being somebody who has a couple of Zion cards in my PC, if the expectation was that Zion was going to be Shaquille O'Neal right away, and maybe Ingram would be Penny Hardaway or something like that. Ingram kind of seems to be the more dominant offensive player right now, or it's like a 1A and a 1B situation. Whereas Morant is definitely the ball dominant player on that team, and was definitely a very exciting, exhilarating player to watch. And you just get more out of watching that team if you're a Morant fan, probably right now. But they're both great players, so I just think that there's a number of reasons to be optimistic about both of them. Do you have any thoughts just kind of comparing Morant and Zion?
Also keep in mind, Zion's played 50 games or whatever in his entire NBA career, 60 games. So I'm not really ready to make a call on either. I would probably say that Zion has a higher ceiling, and I'd feel more comfortable buying Zion cards than I do Morant, because he just has more of the hobby, prototypical hobby dominance that potential that I see. But that it could go either way. They're both so young and so early in their careers. We have no clue.
Yeah, Zion has played 29 NBA games.
So dude, come on. He's the 1B to Ingram, who's been in the league for 5 years or whatever, 4 years. So I mean, that's really not that shocking. He's how old is Zion? 20? He's a kid.
If even, yeah, he's very.
He even drink.
Zion, there's a great personality contrast between Zion and Morant too. Morant is very cocky, and Zion is a really humble guy. It's just that those two will be an interesting contrast for years to come. Zion is 20 years old. He'll be 21 on July 6th.
Yeah, Zion reminds me of Blake Griffin a lot. He's similar, leaping ability style, but he also can he can handle the ball, and he can do more things. But I think he's better than like the prototypical '90s power forward. Like he can do more than just score and rebound. But
Yeah.
I'm not sure that he'll ever, he'll never get to like the Jordan, LeBron, Kobe level because he doesn't quite have like the game takeover court vision yet. He might grow into that, but so far, I would definitely, if you're thinking like Zion will be the next LeBron, I would temper those expectations greatly.
Yeah, that goes for anybody who's being marketed as the next LeBron, because there probably will never be one. Look, here, let me pull this up. This is the blue line is the Zion Prism Base PSA 10, and the red line is Morant's Prism Base PSA 10.
Wow.
Oh, didn't mean to put it on my bald head. So just the despite everything that like feels like it's changing and oscillating and like they just pretty much have stayed in the same relationship to each other for the last 3 months and moved in unison.
Yeah, it just seems like people are just speculating on the hobby, and it just so happens that the hobby is Ja Morant and Zion right now because that's the most recent Prism class.
Yep.
Like that's just who they are. Those are just the two guys that are in 2019 Prism, so that's our choice. And like those are the only players that exist in the world of speculative flipping and buying right now.
Totally.
That's why that is like it was pointed out to me. That's like the main reason that those guys' prices are so much more expensive than the Chris Pauls and the Russell Westbrooks and the guys that are from like older sets. Because people aren't prospecting and flipping on those sets. They're older. Everything's determined. The grading is all complete. There's not any like ripping of that wax anymore. All the energy and excitement is on this new product that comes out, and there's all the attention on it. So that's why those players from those draft classes are getting the prices that are so much higher than those older guys. I think it's a big, big reason.
Oh yeah, it's a huge reason. Plus, like on the personal psychological level, like people just want and feel a greater sense of ownership over like a lot of people came back in the last 2 to 3 years, and these are the new products. They kind of are experiencing them contemporaneously. They just feel more ownership over them. They feel more of a connection to them. But for those who can like kind of look past those emotional connections, which are very strong, and can kind of dig into and find the desire to learn about older products.
Sure.
You have like that Chris Paul situation, that jersey numbered PSA 10 finest rookie card, that went for an absolute steal.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think one of the biggest things we should be doing is like teaching the newer generations about exactly what cards do exist in the past. That's a big part of like understanding the hobby, learning about rarity, where things come from, the history, the values relative today and how cheap they are in a lot of cases. All that stuff kind of plays a bigger role in the hobby. It's important to understand it.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Pop 19. Chris Paul's rookie refractor is a Pop 19, and Luka's Prism Silver, which is the equivalent, is Pop like 2000. Just to give you some perspective of like how rare this stuff can be from these older sets. Pop 19 for Chris Paul's rookie Prism, silver version.
Dude, I'll tell you something else too on this topic. Because, I see some of the craziest sales sometimes, and it almost is really as simple as like it's just not Prism. Chris Paul's rookie just isn't Prism, and people are still Panini issue so many products, and there's so much to learn that like it's going to be years before people kind of get bored with the current menu and start going beyond it. It took me like 3 years to get even slightly bored with Michael Jordan cards of the 90s, but people will. But think of this, okay? I'm going to call out a couple of players' sales who I saw happen this week. A CJ McCollum Prism Silver rookie. CJ McCollum's Prism Silver rookie, like sold for like $1,300 this week, and the prior sale was like, oh my god, I think it couldn't have even been it was tiny. It was like years ago.
Look at the Pop.
Yeah, Pop's like 9, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, so then you might say, oh, maybe this is just a one-off. But because what was happening, people saw McCollum score like 44 points and go toe to toe with James Harden in the Heat, and they're like, oh wait, this guy's really good. Maybe his card should be worth something. And then like, oh, now his silver is worth 1/4 of Ja Morant. Okay, that's cool. That's a nice increase. And then Nikola Vucevic, also I think from the same class, his silver, or maybe it's from a nearby year. And thanks to Christina for adding all these cards to the database.
Pop nine.
Top 9 Vucevic silver also went into the $1,300 range.
Dude, if you remember, like if you look back on like PMG reds and greens with, obviously super low pop because there's just not that many of those, people want like any player they can possibly get from those sets. So there is some intrigue to like these rookies from those time periods, those prism things, silvers and PMG 10s and stuff, where like it could be interesting in the future where people are like, I mean, the fabled 2012 Prism Silver PSA 10. I just want one. I just want a rookie. People got to that point with reds and greens because you can't find them. I'm not like trying to hype up Prism any more than it needs to be hyped up because there's millions of people doing that for me. But it's another interesting. Maybe that's kind of like one of the reasons people are doing that.
Yeah, maybe people are looking in. Everybody has different time horizons too. Like I think the level you're talking about is like a ways down the road. Which is awesome to me. I like thinking longer term hobby wise. Like if I go into a shop and they have like Prism stuff from 2012, I'll usually buy it. I don't even care what it is, like base, silver, whatever. I'll buy it. Nat just showed off a sweet PMG championship. I think it's called Masters, or like a 1-of-1. I didn't even
Gem Masters.
Yeah, Gem Masters 1-of-1 that he like scooped off of eBay or something, like of a player. I don't even know, something Henderson. I don't even remember who he was. But, Nat scooped it up and showed it off because the set has taken on such a prestige. So anyway, we kind of, I don't know how we got there. Just kind of talking about leagues. It's like, look, like the mid 2000s, the early 2000s, the era when Topps Chrome and Bowman Chrome and Finest were some of the sweet basketball sets. I just feel like a lot of that stuff has not had its moment yet because everybody, but I bet if Prism went back to 2003, I bet it would. So I don't know. Take that for what it's worth. Maybe they'll never change.
It was weird to me. I think the Topps Chrome stuff looks better. So
yeah, no, it does. Topps Chrome just isn't. Just the name isn't spoken in the hobby, modern collector circles right now, but quite as much as Prism is. But I think that can change. Okay, and then the other half of Slabs to Men, Mike, had a basketball question for us. He said, who makes up your basketball Mount Rushmore?
Oof. Nice. Let's see. LeBron, Jordan, Kareem, and Will Chamberlain.
Yeah, that's a great. Yeah, that sounds about right. I wouldn't argue with that. I wouldn't argue with that one. You know more about kind of earlier era basketball than me, but I definitely have LeBron and Jordan on mine.
Bird.
Christina would have Bird on hers. Oh, it reminds me. Luka. Luca's the highest head on her Mount Rushmore. Thinking Basketball has been putting out this series studying the greatest peaks on YouTube, the greatest peaks of players going back to the merger. So he's done. I think he's definitely done Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Jordan, and their peaks, their best like 3-year peaks. And like interestingly, Jordan's was before he won any championships. It was like 89 to 91. I think it was. Larry and Magic's were really good. He has a few others I haven't watched yet too. But just a little note: if you love basketball, that's really good stuff.
Go dig up Bill Simmons stuff. If you want to learn about history of basketball, just Google Bill Simmons, his books that he's written. I just watch him. I watch as much of his content as I can.
Sure.
Because he's just he's probably like the best basketball historian that that writes about it and journals it.
Sure. Okay. We got some questions on the topic of Tiger Woods.
Yeah, good.
Tiger Woods.
Yep.
I'm going to read them both because they kind of speak the same thing, but not exactly. Ingleside Sports Card says, I collect Tiger, but am in no way trying to pump him up. What do you guys make of the insane increase on all of his cards over the last 7 days? I've thought his stuff has been seriously undervalued based on his accomplishments and his global brand. Has the hobby finally picked up on how cheap his stuff was, or is something else at play here? He has the HBO documentary coming out in a couple of weeks, but if that's the only reason, are we just going to pump up every athlete when their documentary is a couple of weeks away? Are we sure the documentary is actually even going to make him look like somebody who we should root for?
Right.
Okay, so that, and then KMC Cards writes in, how does the market manipulation of the Tiger Woods market affect the market long term? Do you think the manipulation can cause large amounts of people to leave the hobby due to getting burned later down the line? So, yeah, it might be a little bit strong to just like call it all manipulation. I don't know if that's the case. I think there definitely are people looking to get in early on Tiger stuff. And also, like, anytime an athlete enters the public consciousness in a very mainstream, very like dominant way, it does increase the value of their collectibles. I think for obvious reasons, just people are thinking more about that player. They connect to them more. So yeah, and we haven't done tonight's sales yet, obviously. So that line might even be going a lot further up. So
Here, I'll help you. I'll help you with this one.
Okay.
Let me show you what's going to happen.
The middle finger graph, as it's been called.
No, it won't be that. It won't be that bad. I'm just kidding. No, I mean it's at this point it's all speculation on the doc. It's not even people buying because they're excited to watch the doc and hold their cards and love them of Tiger Woods. They're buying in anticipation of everyone else around them knowing that the doc is coming. It's like speculation on the speculation of the doc. You know, it's 100% FOMO speculation hype. If you own base PSA 10 stuff of Tiger's UD rookie, like, look at the pop, 9,000. Sell that stuff, please. Take the profit. Oh my gosh, if something is like plus 4,000% in the last year, you have to take. If you have like 20 of these things, please sell them now. Like, don't wait for the correction to happen and then to come back down, because it's gonna happen. There's too much supply. And if you really want to, like, and if you really collect Tiger, sell the rookie UD stuff and buy something rare, like one of those 2001 SP Authentic autographs.
Okay,
Get something cooler.
dude, this card was selling for $30 to $40 a year ago.
Yeah, come on, man.
And
the
now
pop is like so insane.
Now it's $1,400.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm not guessing. I know I'm gonna be right about this. This stuff's coming back down.
Might be a different story, as usual, when it comes to the rarer stuff, like that card.
This is more of like your PSA 10 Fleer Jordan, if we're relating it back to the doc, where it's going to go up way too fast. There's going to be a couple copies that dip and make it come back down because supply is going to increase. And then, people realize, okay, the Tiger stuff is real and he does have an amazing career and we should appreciate it. And it'll tick back up and it'll sort of measure itself out, flatten itself, and settle in at its true market value. And then a couple months later, it might jump up like the Jordan Fleer did. So you got to keep the population stuff in mind. That's really what it all boils down to.
Definitely. Two comments that I think are instructive. Slabs to Men says Tiger stuff may not fall back down after the doc. Jordan stuff has done plenty well in the aftermath of The Last Dance. Some of it has, for sure. If you look at the 1996 Chrome base, not the refractor, but the Chrome base Jordan PSA 10, it actually went up and then came down. Doesn't look too much different than a Neymar graph. So, like Josh said earlier, the supply and demand matters quite a bit. Yep, there you
Remember,
go.
like the 97 Metal Universe went like absolutely, like everyone just wanted a raw copy before the documentary, and everyone was going crazy. And then it just, it came back down because there's just too many of them.
It's too many of them. That's absolutely right. But like Slabsman says, there's plenty of Jordan cards that do not look like that at all, that they just keep going up. But it's the super rare stuff.
It's because Jordan has always been the number one at the top of every mountain there ever was of collectibles, and always will be. So you just can't quite put some sort of box around what Michael Jordan cards can and will be. And we haven't seen that sort of history from Tiger Woods cards. Granted, like you can compare their careers and how dominant he was relative to Jordan. You can do that, but there isn't nearly as much history in his collectible market that says this is going to sustain. There's not as much of a collector base of Tiger Woods as there is Michael Jordan, and there's no history of it. So be more careful with the Tiger Woods to Jordan comparisons with these docs. It's more speculative than Jordan.
Yeah, it is. Well said. KMC Cards, the author of the second question, says the thing is Tiger is still playing. He's playing at a pretty high level. So why haven't his cards taken off already if they care about his play? I think that's a good point.
Because he doesn't have as many collectors, because he's went through some really rough years.
Yeah.
Do you guys forget what happened? You're about to be reminded, and someone in one of those questions said, this doc might actually make him look worse, dude. He was like a terrible person. He was like cheating on his wife and like sleeping with everybody he could find. It was bad, man. We're about to find out how bad things were for his life.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, you can look at like some Tiger Woods graphs too, and like, you know, if you look at, you know, because we got all-time sales histories and
BGS 10, should I pull that one up?
yeah, BGS 10.
Dude, anything that has a pop of almost 2,000 in BGS 10, that shows you how common that card is. Yeah, look, dude, this card used to be. Look at this graph.
Yeah.
This is when we first started tracking it back in 2004. It's just now getting back to that level.
Yep.
So it's taken 15 years to get back to its. This is like crazy vintage graphs, vintage baseball, or like late 80s, 90s graphs.
Yeah, that's why it's fun to go back to 04. And look, $900 or $800 in 2004 is a lot different in the hobby than $800 in 2020.
That was like a super expensive card back then.
Yeah, that was like more than a pack of Exquisite. So
Whew. There you go.
All right.
A base Tiger Woods rookie used to be more expensive than an entire box of 2003 Exquisite.
that relationship changed over time quite a bit.
So that shows you just kind of like the fall that Tiger Woods' life and career took in that middle gap. Look at this. It's like basically flat for all these years that he had all those issues. He went like 9 years without winning a major. I'm totally butchering that number, but it was a long time.
Yeah. What should we do here, man? Should we squeeze in one more question, or should we take a break?
Yeah, one more short one. One more short one because we started late.
Okay, I've seen some good hour 2 stuff.
Trae Young going to the finals. Like, you can save that.
Yeah, we'll save that. Everybody was like really upset about Trae Young when he, there was more uncertainty about how good of a player he is. Now that he's playing well, nobody's writing in anymore on it.
People are bored that he's good now.
I think it's like people are more secure now. Like they felt a little bit threatened if somebody would say something bad about Trae Young when he just came off of having 9 months off from not playing basketball. But now that he's playing well, they don't feel so threatened anymore because they're more secure now. So
the real story is the Hawks, not Trae Young.
Yeah, it is. All right, that'll be our last topic for. Well, no. Let's save that. That's only our 2 stuff. Let me see.
One beer, man.
Putnam Cards writes in, when is the best time to buy NBA cards during the NBA season? Do you have any opinions on that topic?
Veterans right now, rookies and young prospects when the playoffs are getting close.
There you go. All right. I think we have a lot of other good stuff. I think we should save it for hour 2.
All right. I will see you guys in 2 minutes, let's say.
Sounds good.
There we go.
What's up, guys? Superior Photo says, brand new here. Welcome. Welcome aboard.
Yo.
Oh, we had some good hour 2 stuff here.
Bob is not the Puerto Rican. Bob Amtrak is not the same guy. That is a different collector who has the best LeBron collection ever. And he's showing it one by one on Instagram. Insane.
Which card, David?
Yeah, what'd you sell? Was it a Tom Brady Genesis 1 of 1? Probably worth $250,000.
Probably worth $1 million now.
Kardashian's got his name on it. It's worth at least. That was kind of funny. Like some of those celebrities, that's what they probably thought. Like, oh, dude, if I just like own this card, it'll be worth 10 times what it's worth just because I have it. And it's like, no, collectors still value the cards, and they don't really care who has it.
True that. Oh, he sold a Mahomes silver. Oh, you want to know something funny?
He just said no.
Yeah, he does though. Hold on. Okay, check this out. This is what happens.
That's why, Rodman. I'm having a bad hair day.
So the Mahomes silver was like trucking along at 8K, PSA 10, selling one every few days. You know, just trucking along, dude. Just trucking along. Ever since early December, just trucking along at 8K. And then all of a sudden, beep, it drops down to 7,400 because, you know, today's theme is supply and demand. Or as Trailer Park Boys say, supply and command. Because on December 30th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 copies of this card were all auctioned at the same time. 8 copies of like a pop 849 card, all auctioned on the same day, and it's
Too many.
so.
Which Kardashian? Why aren't you telling us? It's a Mahomes Prism to which one?
Well, there's only one Kardashian in the hobby, to my knowledge.
For now, could be Kim. Could be Kim.
Kim,
What if it's Kim, bro?
is Kanye considered a Kardashian?
Yes.
I would start rattling off the other ones, but I can only name Kim.
It was Kanye.
Chloe. Oh, it was Rob. God. Why couldn't it have been? Why couldn't it have been? You know, the other one, the good one.
Is there a good one?
I don't know. I don't know any of their names other than Kim. I think she's the one with the most Instagram followers, so that shows you what I know. Can you please give me a topic so I can stop talking about Kardashians? Hurry up. You're like letting me die here.
It was good stuff. It's good
No.
stuff.
Terrible.
All right, Ben the Card Fan. Thank you, Alex. Ben the Card Fan says, is it true that green PMGs taste like sour green apples when you lick them?
Cautionary tale. If you lick them, they will chip on the edges. If you touch them in any way, they will chip on the edges. Those cards, are the word I'll use is flaky. The edges of the cards are very, very, very flaky and delicate. Got to be super careful with those things, just to turn that joke into something serious.
No, dude, look, you never know who's listening and what they might take away from a topic. So we just put disclaimers out there, just in case you're thinking about licking your cards.
Don't
Just smell them.
Dude, you got to be careful penny sleeving those things. Honestly, anything that you do with them is very delicate. Did you ever actually touch the Jordan? No, okay.
I never even took it out of the one touch that it was sold to me in.
I have the penny red in my hand for a good few minutes, and I just felt like the whole thing was about to fall apart. It's just like, oh my gosh, the whole card was like, oh my god, get it into a sleeve. I cut the sleeve, you can cut the edges of the sleeve to make sure it doesn't clip it. I did that. I was setting it on sleeves on my desk. I'm just like, I just can't. Something bad's gonna happen. If I gave it to you, you would have tripped and dropped them all over the floor.
You want to know, I never learned my lessons either, because today during the Mavericks game, I was going upstairs to watch the game, and I was like, well, I better be somewhat productive, so I'm going to sleeve some cards. And so I look, and Christine wanted me to bring up her laptop, so I'm like, oh, I have this nice tray surface here, like a tray. I can just load the cards on this surface. And, like, I know I shouldn't do this. I should just make 2 trips, but I did it. But it worked out this time. Nothing was knocked over. But I knew better, you know, and it could have gone the other way, but still, just somehow I just said, no, I'll just do this in one trip.
Dude, Lefko and I picture the two of you just like sleeving raw cards like infinitely all day long. Like
Pretty
you guys
much.
have like a backlog of raw cards. Like, oh, we haven't gone through this pile yet.
Dude, that would be my dream right there. Here's the fruits of my labor from earlier today.
One buck.
And then, like, this is the stuff we ripped last night. We got some cool hits, too. What did I do with them? We hit a Tua. Sweet Tua from Illusions Football, which is a really great product for about $400. They have awesome cards. And then we also hit a Tatum rookie from Status Auto. And, dude, Status, 2017 Status is a really nice-looking product.
Yeah.
I like it better than 2018 Status myself. Those boxes can be had for under $200.
2018 Status, Kaleidoscope LeBron. That would be like my favorite Panini card ever. I love that. I love those. I know where the 2017 Kaleidoscope LeBron is.
Bob Track.
Dude, Mr. September is right. Yeah. No, it's someone else. Mr. September is right. We do not agree on wax and like the philosophies behind opening wax. It's like the one thing we are very different on.
Yeah. Open wax, dude, it's not for everybody.
It's not.
Nor should it be. Okay, we had some questions on Jordan. Let's not talk about Jordan yet. Oh, this comes from Nick Briz. Nick Briz says, talk about how old cases sell for less than new. Dude, can somebody in the chat talk about this topic, and we'll talk about it too? Because I brought this up to Christian Lamim, and he was like, Pokemon collectors know that serial numbers after 43, blah, 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 were much more difficult to grade. So, you know, Lamim was like telling me like there is something to this case thing. But then I showed him what you showed me, the Alakazam Pokey, the old case selling for like $200 more, 20%.
Hey, stop calling it cases. I'm gonna fucking murder somebody if you call it cases one more time. A case is a grouping of boxes of sealed wax. You're not correct, sir. They're called slabs.
Or it's like one of these. This is a top loader. Maybe that some might call that a case.
Hey, David, I think you need to tell them to rename it mycases.com. That'll be much more obvious what they're selling. They're called slabs. Yeah. Or you can call them flips or labels if you're trying to distinguish between old labels and new labels. It's a myth, though.
See, Ryan Bitter makes the key point there.
What did he say?
He said, could you just have PSA re-slab and put a new slab with the same grade on your card?
Yeah. Yes. By that logic, old cases would be more expensive because you cannot do that. So they're actually more rare.
Right. You can't go backwards. You can't take a new case and try and convert it into an old one.
Okay, you're trying to trap me on this stupid question. Does anyone actually care about new label versus old label PSA?
Look, new slabs versus old slabs. Does anybody go out of their way to pay more for a new slab? And does anybody not go out of their way to pay more for a new slab?
If I had to pick, I would pick old case because I know that it's older and someone's had it longer. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey, okay. Rodman doesn't care. Nobody cares.
Rodman, yep. Never even liked the look of the Lighthouse labels. Interesting.
90% of my MJ's old PSA. Oh, he calls it label. See? Don't think it matters at all. These are, dude, Northeast Sports Cards has like the most PSA Michael Jordan cards ever in the registry, and he's saying it doesn't matter. So just the new slabs. See, man, slabs. No one's calling them cases.
I'm just trying to give you
Some
a
really old PSA slabs are ugly, but yeah, you could just relabel. You could recase them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I prefer all the same labels. There you go. If you prefer all same labels, you better like the new ones because that's the easiest way to do it. Doesn't matter, David. You're just drunk or something. All right, next question.
Happy New Year, Jordan. David sent a funny question in too. I can't find it right now.
Hold on. No,
Yeah, not for tonight.
I'm not answering that, David.
Okay, let's go. Let's a little. Oh, yeah. Here's a fun little one. That's like, I'm not sure what his point is. The Slaboratory, _Slaboratory writes in to say, Revolution, why is Galactic so valuable over the numbered Cosmic? I think Cosmic is numbered to 100 most years or something like that.
50.
50? So what do you think? Why is Galactic so much more valuable over Cosmic? And maybe we need to start very basic on this question and explain like what Galactic is.
Galactic is the like case hit SSP card out of Revolution, and it's a parallel. It's not an insert. There are inserts that have Galactic, but it is a parallel. I think they're just better looking. One, I think the rumor is that the print run is like 20 to 25, which would make it quite a bit more rare. I guess the better question for me is why is it more expensive than Lava, which is out of 10, which is like a known more rare. I think it just looks better, and there's like this iconic prestige to it at this point where it's like, oh, you got to get the Galactic. If they were numbered, I think if the Galactics were numbered to 10, they would be like quite a bit more valuable. Lava's 15, sorry. I think the Galactics would be even more valuable if they were like the gold Prism out of 10, Galactic out of 10. It just kind of makes it a little bit more interesting and unique that they're SSP and not numbered. Yeah, they're kind of more like the White Sparkle and Prism Mojo. That's a good comparison. They just look better. Like I just think they just look better.
Yeah, that's a good comparison. And then like because Revolution actually has a lot of low numbered parallels, the fact that there's a super short print that isn't numbered kind of makes it more intriguing.
Yeah, and I think the word Galactic goes a long way too.
It does. Like, good brand.
It's like Nebula, dude. Like it just has like this very space. Lava sounds weird. Like it's like it's flowing down and it's like oozing. What is that? Galactic sounds cool.
Yeah, dude, I think that's a really good point that I hadn't thought of when I thought about this question. The branding of the name.
Lava's on fire, Josh.
It's weird though. I just call it fire then. Lava, I think of like chocolate coming down a
chocolate lava cake.
Yeah. Why are gold worth as much? It's the same question, right? Like, why are golds worth more than greens out of 5? Just because like they look nicer and people want them.
Sports Cards 1 asks, is Joe Burrow a good buy right now?
Yes. I love buying guys after something has happened to them that made them go down. When I saw before they went down, they had a ton of potential. Always. That's the best time.
Yeah, and there's a nice gap right now to buy raw and grade, and you could sell before he even plays another game.
He looked good, man. Really good. Like, all-time rookie stats good. And actually the thing that I liked most about Burrow was that he was tough. That dude was, like, getting beat to fuck. That Bengals offensive line was terrible. And they were always losing. Their defense was horrible. And he just, like, refused to go down. Like, he just kept coming at you, throwing 400 yards. He just seemed really tough. And I feel like Mahomes and Brady and those guys, they're tough guys. And to be a quarterback, especially when you're taking your lumps this early in your career on a bad team, like, that's what worries me most, honestly, is just that he's on the Bengals. And I'm not sure if he's going to – yeah, he's actually – and also he's older. You're right. That's a good call out. He is like 25 already, I think. So that could hurt him.
Yeah.
Dude, I just want to point out before you move on, he didn't cry or even like flinch. He just like got on the cart and just like drove away.
He's a baller.
Yeah, the kid is like steel.
He's
Look.
so tough. I couldn't believe it. I thought, man, this guy's a rookie. He's gonna get pushed around. Man, he is tough.
Dude, he is. He's stoic as well. He's good with the media.
He transferred. That's why he's old. He transferred and had to sit a year out because I think he played for Florida. I'm gonna fuck this up. He played for another school and then transferred to LSU for 1 year. So okay, he's only 24. He's 24 right now.
Okay, versus
Don't do it.
versus
Don't do it.
when Morant got a grade 2 ankle sprain.
Oh, dude, thank you. Yes, you're right.
And like he man, I thought this dude's leg fell off or something, man. The way he was reacting to the ankle sprain. Now I would probably be a baby too, so whatever. But
Dude, him and Paul
on
Pierce. Him and Paul Pierce got the wheelchair gang going.
And the thing is, like this, just
Dude, I thought he was dead. I was watching that game live actually because I'm trying to watch more Morant and Trae Young to get a better understanding, and I was like, oh my god, he's dead. So he's gonna die right here on the court.
Whereas like Christina said, Burrow,
Torn Achilles. What was Burrow's injury? It was a MCL or ACL, right?
wasn't it both?
It was both.
And he just like, he's like, yeah, I'll be fine.
He was just so stoic, just riding off on the chair.
He's like, we suck anyways. I'll see you next year, motherfuckers. Like, dude, this guy's a baller, man.
He was happy to be done.
I love toughness in guys, man. I love to see that.
Yeah, no, dude, turning your ankle does hurt. You're not lying about that.
Turning your ankle. Yeah, turning your ankle hurts for sure, but come on, man.
I've done it in heels multiple times. Like, get over it, okay?
Jeez.
Christina has spoken.
If I ever see Luka get just a little bit hurt, I'm gonna just ride that.
Shut up. Luka in the playoffs, in the bubble, turned his ankle, came back just to get his triple-double, and then hopped off the court to the locker room. So don't tell me, like, Luka's going to act like Morant.
I didn't say that.
Morant down, and I told Chris, I was like, he is so freaking dramatic. Oh,
He was
my
very
God.
dramatic. He was very dramatic.
Did
Maybe he was so upset because he knew he wasn't going to be able to play basketball for a few months.
Every time LeBron turns his ankle, he'll have games where he turns it all the way. He usually like sits there and like holds it for a second and then he ties it up and then all of a sudden he's playing again. It's like, how is this guy doing this?
Yeah, somebody needs to teach Anthony Davis that technique.
Oh my gosh! Every time he falls, he's like, I feel like he breaks his tailbone every game.
Dude, it makes me nervous. I was nervous in the finals during one of those games when he went down for a little while, but then he bounced back up.
There was a game in the Nuggets series where it's like, oh, he's done for the year, and then
Nope.
he's back the next game.
Yep, so true. So true. Collectogram says, he writes in, LaMelo effing Ball.
Oh my gosh!
Look, in the Luka chat, a couple of guys were talking trash because LaMelo Ball had a better stat line than pretty much any Maverick when the Hornets.
One game.
And my reply was, we can talk about LaMelo Ball when he has earned the right to be a starter on the Charlotte Hornets.
Ooh, sick burn.
Thank you. But he did have a good game. He was like 25 and 5, and he's making the shots, and he's facilitating. He was going hard to the hole.
I love how everyone's talking about like LeBron regenerating cells. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. A blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
Yes, it does. Broken clock is right twice a day.
I am not big on LaMelo Ball. I'm sorry. Again, he's like, he's in the current rookie class, so we have to pay attention and care. I'm just not seeing it. That shot is so weird.
Weird form, weird shot.
Who taught these
started-
kids how to shoot the fucking basketball?
LeVar Ball taught them how to shoot the basketball.
Does LeVar shoot like that?
I don't know. I've never watched LeVar play.
Because, man, I've never seen anything like that. LaMelo does look better than Lonzo, I guess, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he is good though, man. There's potential there. He glides. He glides.
You gotta do more than glide to be a professional basketball player.
Yeah, you do.
Is Big Baller brand dead? Is that gone?
I don't know. I think it's still a thing. I think they have a TV show.
They do. It's like a Facebook show. LeVar Ball claimed he could beat Michael Jordan, so let's not put too much stock in what those guys say about themselves.
Yeah, that was a credibility killer there.
Actually, did Michael Jordan grow up? He grew up in like a decent home, right? Like a good family and everything.
Think so. Yep.
Because I was thinking, like, someone pointed out in the chat that, like, LaMelo basically grew up with whatever he wanted, and LeBron came from the complete opposite. And I think Kobe had a pretty decent upbringing. I don't know if there's much correlation to that, but sometimes you feel like the guys who have tougher upbringings can be a little bit tough. But I mean, Curry had a nice upbringing, and he's been awesome. So I'm not sure there's much correlation there.
True.
Kobe grew up in Italy.
In Italy. Yeah.
His dad was a professional basketball player there.
Right.
Yeah, and MJ went to like North Carolina, prestigious school, solid family. Yeah, and yeah, I actually liked all the stuff with Jordan and his dad from the documentary. I thought that was all very cool.
Yeah, he had a tough dad. Definitely had a tough dad.
Well, he like just how much he leaned on his dad for like as his best friend or whatever, because it seemed like it was hard to be Jordan's friend, as you could tell. So to like have someone that Jordan actually could have as a friend is like, man, only his dad can be his friend, no one else.
Yeah, true that.
Or his like gambling golf buddies.
Right. And those are friendships not made long for this world. Yeah, MJ had a lot of military in his family too. Yeah.
What about Luka?
Luka, I believe his parents are separated. His dad was a professional player in Europe. His mom is a business owner, but he had to be away from his family since he was like 12. He basically just
Spain. He
yeah.
moved to Spain to like a junior basketball professional team at 13 and lived in dorms and grew up with them.
Yeah, so he was pretty much like a grown man from age 12 on.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude. He was like, that's nuts. And just him winning the MVP of that league at 17 or whatever that's crazy.
Yeah, it is. Like, it could not be easy.
I'm rooting for LaMelo though. Dude, 9% Luka from 3? What's going on there?
I think it went up to maybe 12 or 13.
He made one?
After tonight. He made like 2 of 10 maybe. That's another thing too, like Steph Curry played 5 games last year and he shot 25% from 3. We played 5 games. People don't understand the concept of a sample size.
The lucky show supporting the Luka guys. There he goes. I actually bought a couple of Luka cards this week because I felt like if people are going to call him fat and say he stinks, then I guess I'll buy some cards.
That's when Josh pounces. That's the
Dude, that's my favorite. I love when people start saying you suck. That's when I buy. I bought another Prism Silver piece of 10. I got 2 of them now.
Oh, shit. Look at you. Look at you. Somebody, Tales from the chat. I said, somebody was saying, I think I'm going to sell all my Lukas. And I said, yeah, I guess you buy when the hype is high and you sell when the hype is low. That's how this works, right? And one guy comments, I shit you not, a guy comments and he says, well, actually, that is what I do. And I started thinking to myself, and the guy's done well for himself in the hobby. And I started thinking to myself, and I was like, either I need to readjust how I think about things, or this hobby is just covering up just the rising tide of the hobby. Just every month we're adding so many people, and the market just expands and expands. It's just covering up so many like errors in reasoning that have been permitted to exist.
Dude, self-realization is one of the best attributes you can have in this hobby. So for him to say, yeah, I do that, it's like, yeah, at least you're realizing that you do that and you're self-aware and you're honest with yourself. I think that's a big part of hobby success to me. Because, dude, as you know, there's a lot of lacking self-realization in this hobby.
Yeah, and that's so true. And there is some truth to buying Mahomes when that hype was an all-time high after he won the first Super Bowl. That was a good time to buy. That was a good time to buy.
There's obviously some limits to what we're talking about. I'm not buying Derrick Rose right now, or people that are like reaching the bottom. I'm not buying Dwight Howard cards. Let's put it that way.
Even though, just because somebody sucks, that's not enough.
No. They have to show me a consistent duration of excellent play, and then they're going through a downturn. That's what I'm buying. Like, if Mahomes ever has a bad game ever, I'll buy some more Mahomes. I don't think it's happening, but those guys just like win every game. It's nuts.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs will be favored to win every game they're ever in as long as they're currently constructed.
It's nuts. At the end of the games, I was talking to David about this. If they're down, they're up a little bit. Like I'm not even like a little bit worried they're gonna lose. It's crazy. He just they're down by 4 with 2 minutes. Doesn't matter. He'll just whip them down the field and throw a touchdown in 30 seconds. Like it's. I've never had that much confidence in a football player to win the game at the end. It's crazy. There's something about him.
Yeah, it is. We still have a weekend of football to play, and I don't think the Chiefs are playing for anything, whereas the Packers are definitely playing for a lot. The Packers have even said, now the Packers just lost their left tackle, Bakhtiari, but the Packers have said they're playing for a lot. They're treating this as a playoff game.
Yeah.
So, do you have any thoughts on maybe how this MVP race is going to shape up here between Rodgers and Mahomes?
I think they'll just give it to Rodgers, kind of like an ode to his career because he's getting a little bit older, and just give it to him.
Yeah, he's 37, I think. Rodgers.
His numbers his touchdown to interception ratio is just it's not even real. He's the only player ever to have 40 plus touchdowns and 5 or 6 or 5, one of those or less interceptions in a year, and he's done it 3 times. It's what in the world?
Dude, he is going off this year. He has 44 touchdowns to 5 interceptions.
That's insane.
He has a completion percentage over 70%, 70.3% completion percentage. That's like Drew Brees level.
Someone pointed out, or someone on a thread was like, yeah, and because Mahomes has all these weapons, and I was like, dude, Devontae Adams is the best receiver in the NFL, and that's not really that close.
Weapons too. Yeah,
and he's got the best offensive line in the league. Dude, yes. Devontae Adams is the best receiver in the league. That guy, of course I didn't make the finals because he had a bad week in my semifinal matchup, but then in my third place match, he had 48 points. It's what? This guy has 3 touchdowns and 12 catches, and they help each other, but Adams is really good.
Adams is really freaking good. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Adams was out for a few weeks there in the season, and the Packers.
And he's still the number 1 receiver.
Yeah.
He missed 2 games, and he's the number 1 fantasy receiver.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
It's only 16 games.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Aaron makes Adams looks good, but still, I know that Adams is really good individually. He's the best receiver that Aaron's ever had.
Yeah, and Adams is so humble, too. You have to love that. That's a receiver you can really work with.
I love Aaron Rodgers' cockiness, though. It's one of my favorite. I said it on that show. Shoot. What's that thing we went on?
Surface Trade Show.
Surface Trade Show?
Surface Trade Show. I said the 2 most undervalued athletes in all of sports cards are Aaron Rodgers and Tim Duncan.
Yeah, I think that was a great call. I think that was a super great call. Speaking of the Surface Trade Show, something went live. Something that everybody in this chat needs to watch when they're
Wow.
done with this. Shout out to Adam Lefko, the host.
Yes,
So
sir.
you guys need to go watch this.
No.
You guys need to go watch this when you're done.
That's the best hour of sports card TV for the year. I'm calling it.
It's called
2020's best hour of sports card content right there.
So subscribe to Surface Trade Show. It's called The Impact of Funds on Sports Cards. And look, she's going off right now.
He's so mad.
He had it stopped the part where I'm going off.
I just skipped to a random part. I
Dude, look
swear
how
to
mad
God.
she is.
I was pulling
She's
that
like-
up.
It wasn't
There's like
hard. I
steam.
went off a couple times during that.
She's like,
You guys
there's
just
steam
keep
coming out of her ears. There's steam coming out of her ears.
Blood
They're like
coming out of her ears or whatever.
The 10 seconds that you showed, it's like her like, you tell you about collectors? I'll tell you about collectors. Oh, that was so funny. Yeah, the best was just how much they were like, No, the best was when like they were challenging those guys on like telling the people in the fund like what you're buying and why, and it was just like, we just buy it.
Yeah, we don't want to tip our hand or anything. We don't want people buying into our fund knowing what they're buying. QBR. I wanted to talk about this before we move off the topic of QBR. Aaron Rodgers is first in QBR, 84. Patrick Mahomes is second, and that gap has closed. And in fact, Mahomes used to be ahead. Mahomes is now second place. I don't think that's changing. Josh Allen, honorable mention. Josh Allen, third best QBR, 81.6. Ryan Tannehill. Tannehill gets no respect. He was overlooked for the Pro Bowl. They took Deshaun Watson over Ryan Tannehill, but he is the fourth best QBR in the league. And then you got Fitzpatrick, Breeze, Russ, etc. Just like to talk about things like that from time to time. Little catch-all statistics.
Tannehill is definitely underrated. Obviously, like nobody talks about him, but he's underrated because he's just older and like he's been through it a couple times, and people kind of gave up on him. And it's harder to give up on a guy and then go back. You know, people are just like too stubborn to admit, like, yeah, he is actually pretty good.
Yeah, plus he has weapons too. To be fair, incredible run game and great receiver. AJ Brown helped guide me to my fantasy championship this year. So
You won. Congrats, man.
I did. It wasn't particularly tough. 6-person league.
You took down the juggernaut of Christina.
Took down the juggernaut of Christina in the championship round.
It was a 16 league. I was wondering how you guys' rosters were so stacked.
It's a 6-person league.
You're like, I had Mahomes, Devontae Adams, Travis Kelce, nothing special.
Yeah, I know. No, Christina had Kelsey,
Derrick Henry.
Rodgers, Derrick Henry, just loaded, totally loaded.
6-team league with your family, I would just clean up in a league like that. I'd have like the best.
Dude, we have some very smart fantasy players. Christina and I are not among them.
No.
Who make tons of moves every week, like 5 roster moves every week.
You guys
We
are the
just
ones
do-
in the final.
I know, we just do nothing.
Yeah, we
We
literally
just do
don't pick
nothing.
up anyone after the draft and just shift our people around.
We just coast. My best player was supposed to be Saquon Barkley.
I never make a lot of moves either because I'm like, I trust my draft. I drafted those guys. I want to see them. Even though they're starting off bad, I keep them. Like, I kept T.Y. Hilton the whole season because I was like, yeah, he's not playing very well, but damn it, I know he's good, and he played well at the end.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, you got any questions? We're just totally off the rails.
Yeah, I got questions. This is a I don't know. 3Co LA says zebra, tiger stripe, and tie-dye. Will any of these parallels stand the test of time, or is it gimmicky crap?
Do you want my opinion? Or
I think so. I think that's what
I think
that's what he
that is
wants.
the gimmickiest, crappiest Crap. Stupidest thing I've ever seen. I'm sorry. I can't get behind it. There's so many guys that are going to be mad at me. It's fine. I think zebra, tiger stripe, this is just, they look so weird. Disco
Yeah, so-
ball, green, yellow, blue. That's all weird, man.
Yeah, so tie-dye is select, and
25.
I don't see it's low numbered, but I don't know if that one's gonna stand the test of time. Tiger stripe is a little bit different. I think that tiger stripe has people who really like it. There are collectors who really like it, and it's short printed for Prism. It's like 40 to 50 copies. And zebra is to select what tiger stripe is to Prism, and I think zebra has some people too who are going to collect it and like it because it's zebra is even more short printed than tiger. So I do think zebra and tiger, I think they will stand the test of time.
What about dragon? What about dragon?
So that's optic. That's like a 5 print run card in optic.
Peacock, dragon. What are we talking about, guys? We're talking about tiger, zebras, peacocks, and dragons, and these are sports cards, not zoo animals.
There's like new stuff in Prism too, football, like a checkered flag or something. Cheetah, yep, cheetah. We could use some cheetah.
Man, I'm just silver, gold. Thank you, Carvin. Silver, gold, and base. I would just giraffe. Yeah, can I get a turtle choice or something? Turtle disco choice parallel out of 4. That's what I want. I love when
Gerbil.
the guys that own those are like, no, I'm telling you, tiger stripe, dude. That card's gonna matter.
Dude, the golden retriever parallel.
I have a golden retriever. Where is she?
Now Josh might collect that one.
There she is.
Penny.
Sleeping away. I named her Penny after Penny Hardaway. Dude, look at all these snakeskin. See, that's a real one. I can't even determine which of these are real and fake.
Snakeskin is a real one. Sloth.
Unicorn 101. You see, guys, we're naming real ones. That's how ridiculous they sound.
And that is kind of a wake up call. You know,
Labradoodle refractor. Leprosy parallel. Zootopia, most underrated movie ever. Raccoon parallel. We have the best audience. They're just naming all these ridiculous. You guys are all joking, but some of these are real.
some of these are real.
Cow spot.
I could see cow spot happening.
Aardvark disco. Dude, it's like the dragon scale.
Yo, the Liger, nice. Numbered to 69. Napoleon Dynamite, let's go. I love that.
That's pretty good. Share some of your
I
time.
would collect the Liger parallel.
People just like pick your favorite animal. There's probably a parallel for it.
Or there will be soon. Okay, all right.
So, okay, I have a question though. I'm not a Panini guy too much, but like when they add one of these weird things, do they keep it to the point where like each year there's another animal and they always have the previous animals?
No. It does seem to have been only additions.
Additive. It's very additive, yeah.
Yeah, not many subtractions. What can you think of a parallel that has been killed off? That went extinct? She's trying. Card Fiend says no. I trust him on this one.
Thank you. I don't think they remove any, guys. I mean, obviously they remove like someone can find an example, but like on the whole, it's like guys, don't worry, we're bringing back tiger, zebra, peacock, dragon, red, white, blue, green, yellow. We're bringing them all back. Don't worry.
Yeah, it just gets to be a lot.
And we're adding 5 more.
Well, let me ask you this though. If so this is a total meta question, there's no right answer, but I want to see how the chat responds. I want to see it. I want your answer. So brace yourself. This is very important. Just zone in right now. Focus, motherfucker. If next year Panini announced that Prism would only have base, silver, and gold, what would happen? What's the response? How does the hobby respond? How do collectors respond? How do the sales do? Does it do better, worse? Just go. And
My
only
first
base,
thought is,
no insert.
is the draft class terrible? Like, are they printing way less? That's the first thing I start thinking. It signals not good to me. It's the first thing I think. It doesn't signal anything good. But there is something nice about, like, taking it back to those 2012. 2012 had gold, green, silver, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So
It would be bad.
yeah, I mean,
Wait, are we
It
getting
would be
rid of
bad.
black too?
no, I think
Yep,
you said
no black.
oh, no black.
black.
No black. That sucks. I need the one-on-ones. One-on-ones that excite me quite a
I
bit.
think it would be horrible for the hobby.
Yeah.
People would lose their minds.
Yeah.
The breakers wouldn't even know what to do. They'd just be going through base cards. But that's what the 90s was, man. Is that why the hobby's more popular today?
People
Yes,
like the
that's part of
rainbow
it.
chase.
Yeah, the rainbow chase is fun. It's just more challenging. Have you ever, dude, when we opened I used to be able to read packs of 90s, 6 insert sets. I could process the amount of information that was on one of those packs. Dude, try to read a pack of 2020 Prism. I mean, it's microscopic print. It's just so, I'm just like, I'm not even going to read this. I can't even retain a tenth of this information. But that's what's kind of awesome, actually, is that there is so much stuff. It's interesting. It's way more interesting, I think, for sure.
Because when I think about this topic, I know this is like a horse that I keep beating dead, but like the Luka 2018 Prism just has so many parallels in PSA 10 that sell for like 10K plus, to where like, how are they all selling for 10K plus? Why are people not picking one and making sure the rest are garbage? They're just not doing it. And the second thing is like breakers and people that open wax. Those are sort of like, it's what's bringing in the most people, right? It's bringing in a lot of people into the hobby. And if those people don't get enough dopamine hits of making a big hit, of hitting a rare card, a serial number card, and there's only golds and silvers, there's a lot of pissed off people doing that stuff, and they'll just stop. It won't break. It just won't happen.
Very true. While we're
You
on the
need all that stuff.
topic of Panini and parallels and stuff, Panini would do great if they would name their parallels in a fashion that makes them search friendly. So, like Mosaic, do not make a Mosaic parallel. Just don't do it. Come up with a name for it. Whatever. Mosaic shiny. I don't care. But do not have something called the Mosaic parallel. It actually, I think, hurts the market for those cards. Dead horse. That's good.
You're right, man. You're kind of like selfishly biased on that one though. Prisms.
Oh, yeah. Prisms. I mean, they luckily that changed.
Prism silver. That was one of the best moves they ever made.
Yeah, the status parallel. I mean,
it's awful.
Just no, you can't. No.
That's so confusing. When I was buying status stuff, I was trying to explain that. It's like, I give up. It's a parallel, whatever. It's like credentials. It's the status. Mosaic. Is that like the mosaic pattern? Sorry.
Yes, it is. It's the mosaic pattern. Yeah.
So they also have like a mosaic silver.
Yes, they do, which is different. So, mosaic silver. I have one of these sitting out actually. I can show this one by way of illustration. Mosaic silver, and it's one of your favorite players. actually.
Morant, Trae Young, Bobo. Ugh.
That's the Mosaic Silver, which is not to be confused with the Mosaic. I have one of those sitting around somewhere.
I feel like one of these days, Trae Young himself is going to DM me and be like, "What the fuck, man? Put like 30 and 10 a night, you piece of shit. What's wrong with you?" I'll be like, "Ugh." Biggest disappointment. Dang.
That's an interesting question. It's funny. There's a list circulating of Bleacher Report's projected top players from the year 2015,
Mm-hmm.
and they had like DeMarcus Cousins in the top 5 and
Top 3.
top 3. It's just,
Andrew Wiggins is number 2.
okay. So there we go. And I just thought to myself, there's a great hobby lesson in this. Man, we get so excited about young players and we start projecting into the future and like,
Keep going after the bathroom.
not good. Not a good way to go. So the question is, which current prospect will be the biggest disappointment? Zion, Luka, Young, or Morant? Because the likelihood of all 4 of them reaching the potential that we in the hobby think they will reach is not very high. And I cannot say Luka because Christina wouldn't allow me to say that. And plus, obviously I collect Luka. So I'm going to throw Luka out, and I'm going to just look at Zion, Trae, and Morant. Trae is the odd beneficiary time and time again of low expectations. Even when I listen to NBA podcasts from the last week or so, people are still not believing or not giving credence to what he's accomplished over the course of this year. And they're even like making jokes about how he draws fouls in this really weird way because like Trae Young is like cutting people off and then like popping his butt out. Zach Lowe said if Trae Young had Kyle Lowry's butt, he would be knocking people 10 feet backwards. So like people are still like they're very critical of Trae. So Trae has a very special hobby recipe of low expectations.
Yeah.
That makes it hard for him to be the one who would be the biggest disappointment.
He's an
The
underdog.
one yeah, he has a very underdog thing going on.
Second to
So-
Luka in the class, yeah.
Yeah, that too. Zion has the highest expectations. So I think he has the best possibility to be the biggest disappointment because he has the highest to climb of everybody to the point where people feel satisfied with where he gets.
Yeah, I agree. The answer is Zion. It's pretty clear to me.
I don't know. The way Trae can take an injury is pretty disappointing.
Who?
Ja.
Ja.
Morant?
Yeah.
I don't know. He's on the Grizzlies, and he was the second pick, and I feel like the expectations of him aren't super high, but I think it's Zion, man. He was like being dubbed as like the next LeBron quietly by some people, and like people in the hobby are trying to make his 101 rookie stuff like, the next big thing, and I don't know about that. I hope he does great because I think it's good for the hobby, but it's really, 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 really high expectations.
So before Zion ever played an NBA game or even a preseason game, he signed what was reportedly a 7-year, $75 million shoe deal with the Jordan brand, which was bigger than Luka's deal. How much higher can you go before you ever even play an NBA game and you're like the face of the Jordan brand all of a sudden? Like,
yeah, that's tough.
For no reason. His Duke team sucked. He screwed up multiple times during the NCAA games in the playoffs. And then, you have an MVP of the EuroLeague who gets a worse deal than some college freshman dropout who didn't even play well in the NCAA.
okay, she's fired
Tell
up.
us how you really feel. I like Zion now because of how much he hates him.
Josh about to go buy some Zions now. enough people
Josh,
say
why
Zion
do we always have to be on the opposite side of players over here?
I don't. I just like the more angry people get at a player, the more I want to buy them.
I also hate Trey. Should I start talking about that?
She does not like Trey, that's for sure.
Just keep saying how much you hate LeBron. It makes me feel better. Health, yes. The thing that people are underestimating here is the health of these guys. That's the biggest thing. If these guys can stay healthy, they can grow and get better and mature. If they're not playing these games, they're getting hurt all the time, and that was what's crazy about Steph Curry's story is he just like couldn't get past injuries early in his career, like the most critical point in his career and his development phase, and he got through it, and then he stopped getting hurt and just started peaking. It was pretty incredible.
Yeah, it was. And now he's at a very interesting point in his career right now. Not exactly a honeymoon phase. The honeymoon is over.
He is not going to age well.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, his like he as a player might age well because his game is mostly predicated on shooting, but I don't think his career arc and winning is going to age well here.
No, very few do. Very few do. So we had people with like, New Year's stuff. So let me rattle off some of this.
Okay.
Basically, Putnam says, are there any bold predictions for the hobby in 2021?
It's going to be the biggest year ever. That's my bold prediction. There's going to be new companies sprouting up, new ideas, new revolutionary things that take over, new marketplaces, it's going to be sick. New funds, new fractional sharing companies. There's going to be a ton of stuff. There's going to be new exposure to the hobby through different media sources. I think like Bill Simmons is going to start talking about cards more. You and I both know it. We've seen little tidbits of it, and we know that like when one of these celebrities get a taste of it and we see it. I saw this with Gary Vee a couple years ago. I was like, he was saying in a couple interviews that he was obsessed with it as a kid, and I was like, dude, you and I know how it goes. You don't stop there. You're about to get obsessed, and it's gonna keep going. And I can feel this like momentum growing in some of these guys, where it's like, dude, it's gonna get real big.
Yeah, and it continues to gain purchase in the mainstream. So, like last week, there was a number of cable news shows reporting on the hobby, and then last at the game tonight, somebody asked Luka. Somebody asked Luka if he knew about the fact that he has cards that sell for $50,000, and he was like, "No, I don't know about that." And then he was like, "But I need to get involved in this or something." And then like in the Luka chat, somebody goes, "Would you sell to Luka for a discount if you want?" And I said, "No. He's gonna pay more. If anything, he gets upcharged. Like I've been on PSA."
He's rich.
That's what I'm saying. What do you mean I'm going to sell it for less? I don't even care if Luka knows I collect them. I would be perfectly happy to never meet him and never tell him anything about that. Because you have to think athletes, too, they're going to say, like, wait a minute, how much money did you make off of just watching me play basketball and own cardboard featuring me? Hold on a minute now. Where's my cut of this?
Dude, those guys are starting to take it more seriously. Like, I could just brag about LeBron for the rest of my life if you guys let me, but did you notice how serious he took that comment when it was asked about his cars? And he's like, and I have a couple of my own. Whereas some of these guys are like, oh, they sort of like brushed it off a little bit. Giannis and LeBron took it dead serious. They're serious. It's like they do the research, they figure out that it's real, and they don't assume anything is goofy or weird until they understand it. And they look at it and they're like, dude, you're right. This stuff is very serious. There's people out there that buy this stuff. I need to take it seriously too, and that's big for us.
Yeah, and those guys probably have some of the best accountants and financial people in the world, and those people probably know about sports cards. That might be a leap on my part, but looking at the data set, if they are looking at anything close to a comprehensive data set about sports cards, financial advisors to people in athletics are probably saying, guys, collectibles, it's natural for you. You get it. it's something you can relate to. Everybody knew about cards as a kid. There's something cool going on here. Take a look. Could be a great avenue for you.
And those guys are the young, rich athlete, and these guys are much, much better with their money than the players of old. Like, they're just much smarter, and like you said, they have guys, they hire people, they have accountants, they have like smarter people around them. They make better investments. There's less stories of Antoine Walker's losing $100 million than there is back then. And like you said, like those guys are in circles where they're telling them like, dude, this stuff is dude. Kevin Durant is like investing in all these companies. It's real, guys. Like, Kevin Durant is investing in sports card companies, more than one, and that stuff's not going to change. It's like,
no, it's that stuff is just getting started. If it goes well, we will look back on this as, you know, infancy stages.
let me put it this way: I'm not selling any of my big cards anytime soon because I think 2021 is going to be huge. Because 2020 was like the realization that cards are for real and they're here with the COVID thing, and then 2021 is the growth year where it's like we start seeing more companies sprout up, more competition, more card ladder's going to keep growing. We're going to have a bunch of new stuff coming out. Like, people are going to compete with us, and it's just going to be big.
Yes, it is. Yes, yeah, 2021 is going to be insane. I've definitely seen enough to feel that way too. Yeah, it won't. And I don't think it'll be quite as much of a roller coaster as 2020 was, because like 2020 was a lot of head bumping and macroeconomic things that are way bigger than the hobby impacting stuff. I think 2021 is going to be a much smoother ride, and we will not see such euphoric rises in price like the Neymar and everything in August and stuff like that. I think stuff like that will chill out a little bit. Although, as I say that, it's happening to Tiger Woods right now. So,
but dude, if the hobby can recover from September and October, we can recover from anything.
yes,
Dude, we saw like ridiculously overinflated, insane hypes in August and July, and then the absolute crashing in September and October across the board.
totally right. And, you know, the hobby actually had to come back twice. I mean, the first hole it had to dig itself out of was in March and April, when, you know, people were like, holy shit, are we having a global economic collapse? And we were. And sports cards did amazingly well as a market. And then so that was like an exogenous factor that caused that issue, but then it was an internal factor. It was just people getting too hyped on everything, and the hobby solved that one as well. And now December, by all indicators that I look at, December was the biggest month the hobby has ever had.
Which is crazy because December is usually the down month.
Yes. That's another thing. The hobby's been very nimble to adapt to these new schedules and these new seasons. And it's been very insightful to figure out that, like, the hobby is constantly reacting and adapting to like real world phenomena. It's not just, you know, oh, this is cyclical because, you know, this is how we proceed every, you know, no, it's triggered by start of seasons, end of seasons, playoffs, stuff like that. It doesn't matter when they happen, you know. It could be December, it could be September, whatever.
And I know we kind of treat that quote as like half joke right now, but it's dead serious. Like, the thing that people can't quite ever understand about the hobby, that are as outsiders and like people that are looking at us as potential investors and whatever, like, do I need to put more of my money into sports cards as this, you know, investment vehicle or portfolio percentage, whatever? The thing that none of those people understand until they get in, that we understand today, is people fucking love sports cards and they don't want to sell them because they're awesome. And like, you can't get that in any other market where you're investing your money, except for like, you know, art or whatever. I think the people in art can really relate to us. But other than that, like, who else is this obsessed with their own stuff? Like, someone came to me and they're like, I'll give you X for one of your cards, and I paid 1/20th that, and I'm like, like what other market would someone offer you 20x profit on something you bought 3 years ago, and you're like, no, I don't know. Wait, like, do you want this brand new? You could buy 2 new cars with this money I'm about to give you, and I'm just like, nah, I'd rather just like have it.
I'd rather have the item. I'd rather have the card.
Like, what other market can you replicate that?
You can't. You really can't.
I mean, coins, yeah, I mean, like, there's other like tangible assets, and there's more sprouting up, but I think that's the theme of 2020 and investment is that we're going backwards. People want more analog. They want physical things that they can touch and look at, and
They do, and like that. I think like maybe to put slightly differently what you're saying. When people think about the hobby as and sports cards as just like investments, then they miss what makes them good investments in the first place. Oh my God, it's time for the quote. Can we just bring out the quote, please?
oh fuck.
People don't like sports cards because they're good investments. They're good investments because people like sports cards.
Yes, you did it.
Yeah. I just had to gather my wits for a second and fire it off. I
There's
mean,
no
just,
pressure on you. That's why.
yeah, that's the mantra. That really is. That just explains, so like, because there was a comment in the chat about, when interest rates go up, that, will make it more appealing to put money somewhere else. True. And as sports cards get more expensive, suddenly, there's all these competing asset classes that you can start looking at, like, oh, should I buy a card or a house? Things like that. But the difference is the sports cards cannot be reduced to their financial dimensions. There is a utility to them that is over and above just the financial component to it. It's the prestige, the pride of ownership, the collecting, the nostalgia, all these things that like have to be part of an analysis. But with that said, I do appreciate the skepticism. I think it's good. I think it's healthy, and people should be skeptical and we should not just be like, oh, 2021 and 2022. We should think very critically.
Slavs to Men wants that quote on a shirt.
Oh, that's not a bad idea. That's not
Merch.
a bad idea.
You might,
Merch.
you might be getting your dreams come true in 2021 in a couple
Slavs
days.
to Men. I hope you're excited, bro. Coming. That shit's on a shirt. One big con with sport taxes. Well, if you talk to your local accountant, they will solve all your problems. And watch our latest episode of SEC.
Yes. Two great pieces of advice there.
I think that sports cards are going to get so big that people are going to be able to take loans out against their collections in multiple sources. Not just PWCC does that a little bit now, but it'll be more mainstream.
Yeah.
That's when the floodgates are opened a little bit, when people can start making their cards more liquid cash. Whew.
That's I mean, yeah, I think that model has been proven to work. But, it's people who have intimate knowledge of the industry and who are influential in the industry and who they know they have the resources to sell that card if they need to. Like, that's why like PWCC can do that.
Anthony, you're a smart guy. So you saying that I'm 100% correct makes me feel very good about myself. There's way smarter people than me in the financial industry that tell me that kind of stuff, and when I see it play out with some of those guys, I'm like, dude, holy shit.
Yeah, definitely. Look, and so some other 21 stuff too, because it kind of ties in with this. Gonzaga basketball card says PC goals. Do you have any? Striving Sean says 2021 collecting goals. Kyle Collects wants to know, do you have 2021 collecting goals and resolutions? 90s b-ball cards. What are your top hobby and or personal collection goals in 2021? So lots of questions on what are your collecting goals. I would love to hear from the chat. Obviously, we want to hear from Josh. What are the collecting goals that everybody has for 2021. Card Boss says he got some big things coming for 2021. Love to hear that.
I got a monster card coming soon. It's slowly. I'm working it. Chris, you know what it is. I'm working it slowly, so I don't want to get ahead of myself, and I don't want to jinx it. But the Stellar's in this chat. I just saw him. What's up, man? Can't wait, man. I can't wait to finish this deal. But yeah, I got something real big coming. After that, man, I think I told you, Chris, but like I have every card that I ever dreamed of ever owning, and I'm playing with house money, man. 2021 for me is just sort of whatever comes my way. I'm just gonna kind of roll with it. I'm not really. I'm not too worried. I'm not too worried, or I'm not going to put any pressure on it. I'm just going to have fun.
That's a great goal. That's a great goal. My goal is just get the best grail I can as soon as I can get it, as often as I can do it.
You need a Jordan Grail in 2021. You didn't get a single one in 2020.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't really get anything super nice in 2020 as I looked back on it.
Just the LeBron.
The LeBron Prism Gold is by far the only grail-worthy card I got. And then I got like the C-Mac Prism Gold, which was cool. And two Jordan one-of-a-kinds, which are awesome insert parallels number to 150. One of them came from Card Boss. But yeah, 2020 was a very weak year for me. 2021 is going to be a fantastic year for me. I have so many freaking cards to grade. When they all, I've sent off like 300. I now have like 850 more. As they just come out and all come back in, I'm gonna be going to Grail City, baby.
Does anyone on here watch Parks and Rec? You're gonna be flushed with cash.
That's what I'm trying to say. Or I'll just have a mountain of slabs that I'll be too lazy to sell. Maybe then I'll start a hobby shop, the Card Ladder Card Shop.
I really want someone to comment about flush with cash. Does anyone get that joke? In 1 month, I'm going to have like 12 cards in my main PC.
That's awesome.
It's so scary. Even, as like the John Ralphio, there we go. We got it. As someone who's really into the whole consolidating thing, even I'm now like, oh my God, where are all my cards? They're all gone.
So what do you do to fill that void?
Buy a lot of Prism Silvers.
Yeah. It's fun to have cards moving, coming in, going.
Mail days are big. You have mail days, and I don't know. Like, I guess, what's your ritual for looking at your cards? Let me ask you that to start.
Well, first of all, there's the PC box and there's everything else, and the PC box is put away, and it's not everything. Like, look, I might have a pile of crap sitting right there, a bunch of slabs, sweet stuff that I'll flip through just very casually, but the PC stuff has to be deliberately looked at. And when I do look at the PC stuff, I have the PC separated. So the first row in the PC box is all the Jordan Grails, and they're ordered in my preference reverse. So when I look at them, I look at my least favorite one first, and then it builds up to my favorite one. Then I have the LeBron Prism Gold as the buffer between the Jordan and the Luka PC. So when I'm done with Jordan, I get to LeBron Prism Gold. And then when it gets to Luka, then the cards are prioritized in order from favorite to least favorite. So it goes Luka Prism Gold, Luka and TRPA. So because that allows the LeBron Prism Gold and the Luka Prism Gold to be right next to each other. The LeBron comes first, and the Luka comes after it, and then the Luka descends. So like I could probably tell you every card in the exact order in that row. I won't do it, but that's how it goes. What's your ritual?
But are you like spending a lot of like time where you're just sort of like flipping through them, enjoying them like one at a time kind of thing?
Some days it's a quick flip. I just will run through everything quickly, and then that's good enough. Other days, I'll just go through until I find the card that I want to spend a little bit of time with. And then other days still, I'll just sit on my bed like a 5-year-old for an hour and I'll spend 2 minutes with every card or something like that.
Putnam says this is 50 Shades of Grey stuff, but dude, everyone watching is like, yeah, that's what I do. Take my time. I usually do it like once. It's like once a week where I go and get my cards all together, and I just really really build it up, and it's like, hey, this is gonna be good. I'm gonna look at all these one at a time. But I don't have it. Mine doesn't take long to get through. That's why it's like usually longer time for each card. Each card gets 5 minutes of me.
Yeah, it's a reasonable amount of time. It's a reasonable amount of time to spend with them. Yeah, it just depends. It just, different cards are appropriate for different days. That's the thing too that has to be acknowledged. On certain days one card calls out, on the other day it's another.
Dude, one of the best days. I guess that was 2019 when you guys came over. That was 2019. Oh my God, wasn't it? Or
it was 2019. Yes, it was.
when you guys, I just love I love sitting down with one other person, and you swap collections and you just go through it and just tell the stories. Oh man, I miss that. I haven't done that since because no, I didn't go to any shows in 2020. Oh my God.
Yeah, and that's something that's obviously
Fuck you,
unique to
2020.
National. Yeah, because going to card shops is very transactional. No one would care to want to go through your PC. You really need to meet up with other collectors to do that.
Totally. Swapping collections and going through them is just the best, man.
Yeah.
Watching someone else look at your PC is fun. Looking at other people's PC while they're watching you is fun. This is getting weird.
Sounds so voyeuristic.
Christina's like, you guys sound weird, but I get it.
Oh, yeah. She has no choice but to get it, even if she didn't get it.
I get it. I skip over. I go from the best Jordan, and then I say, and then I go to the next, the Luka in the PC pile. I don't stop and admire the one that sits in between.
Christina's like, are we done looking at these? I want to start ripping wax.
Yeah. Christina will spend the most time looking through the binders. So we have like 8 binders, 2015 Donruss sets. We made a master set, or damn near a master set.
I spend more time looking at the packaging of wax products than I do looking at the PC every week.
That comment is hilarious.
Read it to Christina.
Jordan Hudson says, my wife walked by and was like, what the fuck are y'all talking about right now?
That's so true.
I can't even imagine somebody overhearing this.
There's 100 people watching us at 1:30 in the morning on the East Coast talking about loving our cards. This is great.
$1 million for one night with your LeBron said nice looking cardboard.
Wow. We're going there, huh?
Jordan Hudson, you should be so confident you could just look at your wife in the eye and go, sports cards.
I like the artwork, so I like the variety of the cards. I know that card companies take a lot of time and effort that they put in that people don't realize on the packaging as well as the cards. So I really like to take the time and admire what colors they use and what photograph and the feel of the the wrapper versus the feel of the card, and then that moment when you open a fresh pack and you get a sniff of the cards is the best moment there is.
Yeah.
The best part about wax is the smell, for sure.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I'll smell a 20-year-old card just to see if it has that scent to it.
That was that smell is the strongest scent or strongest
connection to memory.
Yes, thank you. Smell is because when I first in 2016 when I got back into cards, that was the first thing that I remembered was the smell. I was like, what the hell is this smell right here? I remember this when I was a little kid. It's nuts. That's crazy.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Why that would happen.
Christina's saving me. Sometimes I get stuck on the words.
Oh shit, the chat is hilarious tonight.
Dude, our chat is the best in the hobby.
Yes, it is.
Our chat could be its own show, just like all the ridiculous stuff that gets said. When we were going through that zoo animal stuff, there's just like nonstop.
Yeah, no, dude, the chat is definitely its own show.
That's why I like hour 2 because I can just sit back and look at the chat. Whereas hour 1, I'm more like focused on the topics.
Sure. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm looking at some of these other topics. Card Hub wants to know, how do you figure out what a 1 of 1 is worth when there are no comps?
Tim,
Good question. Oh, wow. Right on time with the 1 of 1 question. Exquisite Collector pops up. There's a guy who could answer that question for you. How do you figure out what to pay for a 1 of 1?
take the gold and multiply it by 2.
Sounds about right, yeah. Yeah,
Depending on how gimmicky the 101 is. Like if it's like a older 2013 Prism Black 101, it's quite a bit more, I think, than 2X. But like if it's, disco or something like that, you can just 2X it. Right before I get into it with my wife, she always asks to see my Luca PC. God. I read that out loud.
I would sell my PC if I were you, bro. Higher than the next guy. That's so right. That is the right answer.
Prism for men. So good.
Dude.
People are so much more clever than me.
It should be a perfume to attract men. Women would wear the Prism scent.
It's just like a cardstock smell. That's not a terrible idea.
No, that's a great idea.
Zebra. That's what I think is so funny.
What is it called? Like Eau de Toilette coming soon, 2021.
That's what I find funny about all these parallels is like the hobby is clearly like mostly for males, obviously. No offense, Christina. But it's like it's like marketed towards men, but it's like pink ice and zebra stripes and all these like weird things that you wouldn't think that would attract men, but here we are.
Yeah, like purple
disco. Is that disco?
Yes, it is.
So what is disco? Is that like an actual like retail, like separate, like they're all discoed? Or is it like an insert parallel to the main hobby? Or what is it?
It's an exclusive to the product. So this one is exclusive to No Huddle Football.
Yeah, okay.
So like all of them are disco?
Disco is like the slang title for Fast Break. So Fast Break has, or No Huddle, it's its own line of merch. You got hobby boxes and you got Fast Break or No Huddle boxes. Different lines. And the No Huddle or the Fast Break in basketball, No Huddle for football, they have silvers too, but they're not pure silvers. Instead, they're silvers that have, the little disco effect. And so it's the same for everything. So like in hobby, you would have just a pure purple. And in Fast Break, you would have the disco purple. So all it means is that disco is something that came out of the Fast Break product or the No Huddle product. So it's like the option B almost. Fugazi silver, right?
Like back in 2016 when they had the main Prism and then they had like Prism Mosaic and everyone was like, "What in the hell is this secondary?" It's like that.
Right. Yeah. Yes. Except Mosaic was kind of standalone, kind of. Whereas this
cheaper. Is it cheaper?
Yes. Fast Break and No Huddle is cheaper. Yes.
I don't want to scoff at anything that can get more entrants and more people to get excited about buying. Because if obviously, if I'm a kid trying to get into the hobby, I can't afford Prism.
Right.
There's no way. So if I can get Prism Fast Break and it's more fun for them, maybe,
Yeah, the only problem with that is me and Christina buy it all. So the kids never get the chance to open it.
I don't care about the kids.
Yeah, but you did that like thing at the sports card shop where you like taught that whole class to those kids. Come on.
You did do that.
I did, but I also told them they weren't allowed to rip what I wanted. That's how I ended the lesson. I get first dibs. No.
Yeah, as they all walk in, you're like, into your fucking pockets.
No, I I gave cards out to the kids during that. No,
Yeah, you give them.
when I'm at the hobby shop, I'm not thinking who's the next kid coming in. I'm thinking this is capitalism, baby. I get to buy it if I'm here first.
Yeah.
Yeah, you handed out all your repack shit that you guys didn't want.
Yeah.
There was some good shit in that repack pack now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you guys are like handing out Prism Luca base like candy last year. Now all of a sudden you're like, geez, can I have that back?
Dude, you want to know one of the all-time bonehead moves? We gave the guy we subbed to PSA with a whole 5-row of all of our Prism Commons from 2018. Thousands of cards. But within there was probably 10 Gary Trent Jr. base rookies,
At least.
probably 10 Devontae Graham, because at the time when we gave it away, these boxes were $250. And like, we were just like, these cards aren't even worth the paper they're printed on. I don't know what he did with them all, but there's thousands of dollars worth of cards in there now.
Those cards have been sold 20 times since you saw them.
Probably. That would make me feel a lot better.
Then one guy that's like, there's one guy, the guy you gave it to, has them all in PSA 10 and he's just holding them.
Well, dude.
Ready to cash in.
He's just laughing at us.
Yeah.
That seems reasonable.
It was once upon a time it was rare for breakers to keep like Prism base cards and stuff like that. It was rare. They didn't do it all the time, and they definitely didn't ship.
The card market had a $2 billion market cap in 2020. What do we think it's going to be in 2021 at the end? Man, I'm not like an economist or anything like that, but more than $2 billion.
Yeah.
Come on, Chris. Come on. Hit him with some knowledge.
I don't know. I'm
Look at
looking
him.
at the ladder. I'm looking at the ladder's market cap, which is simply cards that have known populations, particularly slabs. Multiply the population times the current market value of the card in that grade. And then you just do that for the entire population of cards that we have, which is 6,656. You just sum them all up. And, the ladder market cap is, today the ladder market cap was 2.7 billion.
Well, he's probably talking about like transactional market cap.
Oh,
Ours is like known quantity.
yeah, transactionally, I don't even know how you would. That's a very tough number to know. There's a lot of cash deals. There's a lot of trades that happen. Obviously, trades probably wouldn't be factored into a market cap number because it's not cash coming into the industry. It's just an exchange. I don't know, man. I really don't. I don't know. I don't know.
David says, "You still going?" Hell yeah.
No, actually, we stopped. But as soon as we knew you were going to get back on, we started it up again.
Yeah, we had to put on a big Mirage and get him back in here.
Yeah. All right. So.
Yeah, I would say 3 billion, Chase. Like, it feels like 2021 is going to be what is that, 66% bump? Feels like a big year.
Yeah. It's just hard. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how people are coming up with that number. I'd love to see, I'd love to read a study on that topic.
Dude, if everyone else is allowed to hype their cards, like I'm allowed to hype my love of the hobby.
Oh,
Let's go.
dude, hype it to the hills.
What is that like? What's my BGS 10 worth if the PSA 10 is this?
Oh, shit. Dude, the Suns beat the Nuggets. Impressive.
Good. Dude, the Nuggets are looking bad.
Yeah, they're slacking a little bit. It was 106-103. I've seen the Suns.
Okay.
They've won those 50-50
Okay.
games. Yeah. They've been winning those, which you got to do. You got to do that. But
Weren't they 7-2 last year?
yeah, they came out the gate equally hot, if not, well, they were hot last year too. Yes.
Go look at the standings in the NBA after 10 games last year and get a reality check. Just buy 3 Luka NTs and post them at a different angle every hour, bro. Your favorite, Chris.
What's this?
Posting the Luka NT over and over.
Don't tempt me.
It's like the only time you ever talk shit on this show.
Dude,
And you just,
that dude merits it. That dude.
like the only person you've blatantly just like refused to hide who you're talking shit about.
Yes. Yes, that's correct. Because you know what? That guy makes Luka collecting worse. And that's one of the cardinal sins of this hobby is when you are so obnoxious that you ruin player collecting for everybody else who collects that player. You don't even give my filter on that one.
David loves this. He always DMs me about how you go off on this guy. He loves it.
Oh shit! I'm trying to find the NBA standings after 10 games last year, and it's a.
You're so composed and professional, but I bring that guy up, and you're just like, you stop, and you're like, listen, guys, you better not fucking show that same card 10 times over. I'm gonna lose it. You turn gangster on us for like a quick minute.
Just for that only him.
It's like, man, this dude's bald, and he's like bald, and he's like a serious bald guy. He's not fucking around.
Is that
This
the
is like
most hated dude in the hobby? That's a fair question, I think.
this dude's intentionally bald. He shaved his head so he could fuck with guys. He's like sitting there with a razor, and he's sitting there shaving his head, and he's like, dude, I'm gonna get you. I envision Chris with cornrows in '94.
Right after like Gangster's Paradise came out. Coolio.
Dude, I know you're up with the rap game, Chris. I know you are.
I know a few things.
You know a couple things.
Oh, everybody knows who we're talking about.
Everyone name your favorite rapper right now. Go. And I'll tell you mine when they start coming through.
I'm very curious to see these answers. That's why I'm just awaiting with bated breath.
Favorite rapper of all time. Go.
Big L. That's a hell of a way to start off. Big L and Peter Pac-Man. That's
Paul Wall.
Opening.
Look, the Grills. Hell yeah.
Rest in peace, MF Doom, by the way.
Jay-Z. Can't go wrong there. Shaq. God. Tupac. All right. There we go. Ice Cube. Eminem. That's a good one. Eminem's one of the best lyricists of all time. 8Ball and MJG. Are you kidding me? Those guys are awesome. Dude, I love this. Nas. Hell yeah. Lonzo Ball. Yeah, isn't Damian Lillard pretty good?
I don't know. I've never listened to Lillard, but
Kobe. Jadakiss. Nice. Whoopi Goldberg.
2 votes for Whoopi Goldberg. I didn't even know she had a rap career.
What's yours, Chris? It's going to be some underground guy that I've never heard of.
Oh, it really won't. My favorite rap group was Bone Thugs and Harmony. That was
Nice.
Yep.
Dude.
Yep.
Those guys can rap really fast.
Yes. Yes, they can.
Very, very fast. What's their most popular song?
They're most well known for Crossroads. The Crossroads.
Yes. See you at the crossroads. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yep. Exactly.
Why did when Josh say it sounded like a NSYNC song?
Dude, NSYNC is baller.
Yes!
It's Christina's favorite group. Oh, you guys finally found your.
Yes. Dude, Backstreet Boys suck. NSYNC is where it's at.
Yes!
Ghetto Cowboy. That was technically by Mo Thugs, not by Bone Thugs, but it does feature Crazy Bone. I think Lazy Bone was on that too.
If LeBron is my favorite celebrity, Justin Timberlake is my second favorite celebrity.
Wow.
Yep.
There you go.
Josh, I knew there was a reason we were friends besides our animosity towards each other.
Dude, he is such a great actor, such a great singer. What a talent. That Justin Timberlake, what a talent.
Do you have a favorite Timberlake movie? Mine is Alpha Dog. I think he was great in that movie.
That was good.
I thought he was good in Social Network.
Oh.
Bad Teacher, he was hilarious. But his best movie was shoot, it's the one where he dates the girl from that '70s show. God, I'm really bad at like
Just Friends.
Just Friends. That's a great movie.
There you go.
All right, you ready for my favorite rapper?
Yeah.
Nobody's said it yet.
Wow. Okay. Oh, nobody said it yet.
Social Network is a good movie.
Was their peak in,
Single artist.
okay, 2000s or 90s era?
Peaked to all of my rap time was like 2004 to 2010.
Kanye was huge during that window of time.
Too popular.
Little John.
No. What? Okay. I mostly listened to like southern rap, like Atlanta stuff. So yeah, that's a good guess. He's from Atlanta.
Nelly? Oh no.
No, he's from St. Louis.
Nelly was my original favorite though. Nelly is what got me into rap.
So from Atlanta, it had a lot of great groups. Outkast. You had, is it Outkast or no, Andre 3000?
Nobody said it yet.
You had
There we go. Just
Goody
said it.
Mob.
Someone just said it.
Oh, T.I.
I
Nice.
said
Yeah.
T.I.
Nice. T.I.
You did?
Yeah.
My bad. T.I. I used to, whenever his new album would come out, I would go to Best Buy and get it.
Oh, dude, just think about CDs is crazy. What a relic.
Dude, CDs were awesome. Lil Bow Wow, Outkast.
Strawberries in the mall.
T.I. was the best. Everyone's saying
Strawberries.
T.I. now.
Did you guys not have Strawberries? It was a music store.
Oh, no, it must have been a Northeast thing. We had Media Play and stuff like that.
T.I. 89, shout out, best calculator ever made.
TI 83 Plus though, that was
Rubber Band Man, that song was so good. That was the best album, the one that had Rubber Band Man on it.
Yeah.
Bone Thugs and Harmony, Urban Legend was good. Yeah, T.I. was in a movie, ATL. He kind of played himself. That was a great movie. What's your second favorite rapper? Come on, keep them coming.
Second favorite?
Best album was King from T.I.
I don't know. I don't really know. T.I., huh? Do you remember David Banner?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you were into the whole that Atlanta era.
Yes, sir, I was. Like Ying Yang Twins.
Youngbloods, you remember the Youngbloods?
Dude, I used to listen to who's that boxer? Roy Jones Jr.,
Okay.
David Banner, 8
Yep.
Ball and MJG. Man, all those guys. Oh, what's his name? Man, that's gonna bother me. Another Atlanta guy that I can't quite remember his name. I gotta look it up after this. Name some more Atlanta guys.
Bone Crusher.
Bone Crusher was good.
Gorillas.
Who else? There was lots of Atlanta rappers, lots of good ones.
I was really popular for a while. Bone Crusher, that's a good one.
I remember Jody Breeze. He was
Oh,
a little more
dude.
original.
He was in his group though. Jody Breeze had a group. You're so close.
Yeah, Boys
Jody
in the
Breeze.
Hood. They had a group called
Yeah.
Boys in the Hood.
The most popular guy in Boys in the Hood. Come on, you're close. Who is that?
Yeah.
The bald guy.
Um,
Young Jock was good. Yep. He was in Boys in the Hood. That was the best group because they put Jody Breeze and my favorite rapper.
The Gooding.
dude, you
Why is
were
nobody
kind
saying
of
that?
like in the you were kind of like into it. You knew.
Yeah,
I was
I told
surprised
you.
Jody Breeze. I can't even believe that.
I never liked the popular stuff, man. I always got to get into it. Who is it? Come on. Nobody's said it yet.
Boys in the Hood. Oh, I know.
Yeah. Who is it?
So do you not remember his name?
No, and it's driving me crazy. Come on. Say it.
The initials are YJ.
Young Jeezy. Dude, he had the best albums ever back then. What were his albums? Young Jeezy.
Yep, Young Jeezy was great.
What were the Thug Motivation? Oh my gosh. I need to listen to that tomorrow. Dude. And LeBron listens to Young Jeezy, so I'm like, hell yeah.
Dude, Young Jeezy, yeah, that's a great call.
Jody Breeze is one of my favorites. Me and my buddy, my college roommate, were really, really into that whole scene, and we used to like make. That was back when like people used to make CDs and stuff, mixtapes. You know, you'd burn CDs. We used to make rap mixes, and we'd put like our favorites of the time, and we'd just keep remaking them. We got all the way up to like 30 albums. We like made our own little mixtapes. We got up to 30, all rap.
Wow. Yeah, that's those were the days. Those were the days. I remember when Napster first came out, making those CDs back in the day.
LimeWire.
Kazaa.
Kazaa. Yep, definitely remember that.
For Trillville.
Trillville. I definitely remember Trillville. They had that bed squeaking song.
They had Never Ever. That's the best song.
Yeah.
I like Ja Rule is like kind of like a. Ja Rule was pretty good. I like DMX.
Little Scrappy. Remember Little Scrappy?
Little Scrappy? Fila.
Yeah. Forever I Love Atlanta.
My other favorite was Jim Jones. Like those guys.
Oh,
What was that group?
Dipset.
Dipset, yeah. Like Joel Santana, Cameron. I love those guys.
Oh, that's great. That's freaking great.
Am I just like really impressing you? Because I know you're like from the music community, so
You
this
are,
is like
dude. I mean, yeah, that's very good. That's very Crime Mob. Yep, Knuck If You Buck. They still play that beat at Memphis Grizzlies games.
Joel Santana. I was listening to his album last week. He was really good.
Twist.
That's why I wanted you to name some. Wanted you to name some rappers. See if I'm in the in crowd here.
Yeah,
Knuck If You Buck.
I'm racking the memory right now.
Young Jeezy. I'm good for the night. I got Young Jeezy. That's my man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, Young Jeezy. I wonder if he's still. I bet he's still putting stuff out too. He was a little different. He was one guy who's he wasn't a tie-dye parallel. He was like a Prism Gold.
Really? He was popular, right?
He was popular.
He was popular.
But he was also very respected.
What about Juvenile? Remember him?
I remember Juvenile. Dude, Juvenile's going old school. Then you're talking about Manny Fresh and
Manny Fresh.
Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne's
Origins.
Lil Wayne. He's still popular, right? He's got to be. He was huge.
Yeah, he's going to be a cultural mainstay. He's a guy who I think would get into cards. I can see
Thug Motivation 101 is like one of the best albums of all time.
Yep. Definitely.
Dude, it's so funny that was just like we were all, it's like it's kind of the same culture as cards, like the same
yes.
Age group, same age range that we're talking about, you and I, where we grew up with that same kind of, that was big, man. All that rap stuff was huge back in the mid 2000s.
Yep. No, definitely. And you can just tell from the chat that we all have this common, basis. We all have a lot of these things in common.
Dude, David Banner, that's how I know you were in it. That dude was like, because me and my buddy used to have like guys that we would listen to that no one else would. That was always kind of the fun thing. Ours was Trillville and David Banner. We listened to those guys a lot.
Well, the song Rubber Band Man was mentioned, and David Banner made the beat to that song. So
hell yeah.
David Banner was awesome. He did it all.
My favorite song of all time is still "Be Easy" by T.I. I used to listen to that before LeBron playoff games because I used to like get pumped up. I'd have to listen to "Be Easy." You know what song I'm talking about?
Yes. Yep.
Oh man, you should go listen to "Be Easy" by T.I. You guys will get pumped up. That song is like.
That's awesome.
It's pretty good.
Killer Mike.
You
know about Killer
Mike?
The
Game. I like The Game. The 50 Cent crew.
Yep.
Lloyd Banks.
Yep. Young Buck. He was
Young Buck was good.
the Southern component.
You got to have a Southern component.
Yeah. Oh, especially at that time. Especially at that time.
I didn't like Outkast. They were too poppy.
Mm.
Pastor Troy, E40. Man, this is
Pastor
crazy. This
Troy,
is like
let's go. Yes.
this is like a walk down memory lane. Petey Pablo. Oh, man.
Shine. Yep. The thick voice Shine, who was signed to P Diddy.
Mike Jones. Who?
Oh, then
You
you
remember
got the
Paul
whole
Wall?
thing. Slim Thug, Paul Wall. Yep.
Oh, and Chameleon.
Oh, a chameleonaire.
Dude. Riding Dirty, one of the best songs ever.
Yep. He has a funny story with Michael Jordan, too. People should just Google chameleonaire Michael Jordan story.
Really? Every time my son is riding his bike, I put that song on Spotify. Trying to catch me riding dirty. I love playing that while he's riding his bike because he's like,
Oh, UGK, Bun B, and Pimp C.
Twista.
Oh, yeah, Twista for sure.
Oh, Chingy. There we go.
Oh.
Dude, Atlanta, man, they were just so big back. I used to only listen to Atlanta rappers for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Atlanta, they absolutely killed it.
Nelly was like the only guy from Midwest. That was like Nelly was holding down St. Louis. Well, he had his little group though.
Yeah. Murphy Lee.
Murphy Lee, yes.
They had some other dudes too. I don't know their names though.
Jaquan.
Oh, Jaquan had that club song.
After that, though, it started getting into Lunatics. Thank you, saying Lunatics. After that, I really dropped off with the rap game, and all these new kids started, like, my brother got into it after I did, and he was younger than me, and he used to always be like, you gotta listen to J. Cole and all these guys. Sorry about that. I was like, I don't even know who these dudes are.
Yeah, the whole new era. I couldn't tell you who's relevant right now beyond, you have
Ludacris.
Luda, yep. Ludacris, that's hardcore Atlanta right there.
Yeah, see, I did not like him.
Yeah, because him and T.I. had issues.
Yes, yeah, okay, there you go. Man, see, look at this. This is great. Akon. Dude, I loved Akon. Akon and Young G, E40.
Yep, now you're going Bay Area.
We're dropping people off the live, but the people who are staying are really into this.
I was actually quite impressed with our attrition rate, given that this has absolutely nothing to do with cards or sports at all.
Because I think people are like I just Tech 9.
Oh yeah, Tech 9. Love Tech 9.
Because people just relate to this kind of stuff, man. It's all about like what you grew up with and
Necro, now we're digging. Now we are digging.
I don't like Outkast, sorry, man. They're just way too poppy. Usher, I liked Usher.
Snoop, right? I bet somebody must have said Snoop already.
I didn't see him.
Snoop and Tupac and Biggie, those guys were a little bit like before me.
Yeah.
Those guys were like
BTK.
deceased before I... Lonely Island, there you go.
That was with that dude from Andy Sandberg or something.
Have you seen that movie, Popstar or whatever? It's pretty funny.
I've not seen it.
I never really liked Eminem that much either. I thought he was too popular. He was good though.
Yeah.
Bubba Sparks.
Bubba Sparks, yes. Oh, that makes me think of the new guy, Yellow Wolf. He's yeah.
I couldn't do it. I don't know any of these new guys. We're about 5 minutes away from me pointing out one of his flags. It's true. Yo, shout out to my boy. Rest in peace. I really hope my wife doesn't watch this. She's gonna be like, "What? You guys are talking about rap for like an hour? You don't even listen to that stuff anymore." Eh.
Yeah,
Life
Life After Death is a great album.
What is that?
That was Notorious B.I.G.'s last album, I think.
Oh, okay.
Double disc, I remember that.
Trick Daddy. That's a good one.
Trick Daddy, Trina.
There was a few like good female rappers back then too, right?
Yeah, there's some. There's definitely some.
I feel like Dipset had one that was really good. I forget her name. Take it to the house. That's the way we take it to the house. It's, dude, I know all those songs by heart. You know, you listen to them so much that like, and they're pretty easy to memorize.
I like Nicki Minaj.
Christina says she likes Nicki Minaj.
Time to end the chat. Missy Elliott, there we go.
He had that song with Drake that I was obsessed with.
Fabulous. I liked Fabulous.
I don't remember what it was.
Drake was after me. I never listened to him.
Drake was my boy.
Danny
He's
Brown.
like still super popular, right? Drake. He's probably like one of the top most known artists, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Him and Kanye.
Definitely.
Is Kanye still going?
Yeah, I think so. He's just bigger than music now.
Yeah, it's true. He's a Kardashian now.
Yeah, right.
Soldier Boy.
He's buying cards on
Soulja
eBay
Boy.
under Rob's name.
Soldier Boy, tell him.
Soldier Boy. Oh yeah. Superman.
DMX was awesome. Yeah, he made me want to run through. Dude, his songs are like, X Gon' Give It To You. Oh my gosh. If you're not hyped after listening to DMX, you're just.
That is so true.
Drake is by far the most popular rapper on the planet. Okay. I believe it.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense. Kanye West, Swaggy P.
Iggy. Oh, what? Yeah, she fell off. I
Is
think.
she still going?
Yep.
Man, I don't keep up with current music. Justin Bieber still good? Anyone?
Yeah, I think Justin Bieber's still doing his thing.
The Hood Gon' Give It To You. Some of those titles of all those like mid 2000s rap songs, if you like say them out loud, you just sound ridiculous.
Yeah.
Hey, what did you think of X Gon' Give It To You? Pretty good song.
What is
Rubber
that
Band
true?
Man?
Bun B is Bun B, very smart guy. He's a
Rick Ross.
professor. He's a professor at Rice University, I think.
Hmm.
It wouldn't surprise me at all if Bun B was getting into cards. I don't know if David just completely made that up or not, but
Rick Ross. I'm glad that one got called out. He was good.
yeah, yes he was.
Taylor Swift. There we go. That's who I was trying to think of. She's probably the most popular artist right now, right?
Taylor's
Yes.
now we're going. Now
She's
that's a left.
amazing.
Christina's just like, okay, guys, we're enough about rappers. Taylor Swift.
No, Josh said he was saying before the most popular.
Oh,
Yes. She read my mind. I was thinking of Taylor Swift. Like Drake and Taylor Swift are the two that I always think of as the two most popular.
yeah, it sounds about right.
I feel like Lil Wayne got up there though, like in that realm.
Yeah, I mean, Lil Wayne was the one who brought Drake into the mainstream too.
There you go. He was Drake
Drake's
before
been
Drake.
mainstream since Degrassi.
Yeah, but not as a musician.
And Eminem got up there too.
Yeah. Yeah, he sure did.
Too bad Young Jeezy didn't. He was the best.
Young Jeezy was content with where he got, and he did very well.
That was kind of the thing though, was like you didn't want to get too popular or you lose your edge.
Right. Yes. Eminem was a guy who definitely lost his edge.
Mace. T.I. got really popular though. He was in movies and stuff. He was really popular.
Yeah.
Wow. Drake broke Michael Jackson's record for most #1 hits. Wow.
Holy shit. That's unbelievable.
Mobb Deep, there we go. Dude, Merge with Urge he's with us on this one.
Yeah,
That's
he's from that right era. He's definitely from that right era.
He is. I can sense the gangster in him.
The Clips, right? Yep.
It's gangsta though, I think, with an A. You have to say it like that, or you sound like an idiot.
Yeah, that'll stop you from sounding like an idiot.
Right. Say some of these titles. You can't like.
No, you
it's
can't.
really hard. Middle to upper class white male saying these names. I can't get away with it.
The Central Vest. I just want Khaled to be in the card so he can just say another one. He would make a great breaker. He would definitely make a great breaker.
Another one. What's the Rick Ross song that I'm thinking of? Like from that era, Rick Ross, really, really popular song.
He had a few. Rick Ross had a few. Hustlin' was his.
Hustlin'.
Yeah.
Every day I'm hustling.
Yep. That's the one.
That song was awesome.
Yep. Oh, yeah, dude. It's about that time for me, man.
Yeah, I'm tired.
Good, nice 3-hour crossover for the community.
We were due for a good 3-hour one.
Yeah. And then we're providing bonding over shared cultural moments.
The third hour was just dedicated to naming random rappers. I'm going to send this to my college roommate, and he's just going to be so excited.
He's like, wait, you guys talk about cards and on Instagram for 3 hours, and then it devolved into naming rappers?
I got him into cards, though. He collects cards now.
Oh, that's awesome.
He only collects football receivers, though.
Well, everybody has their lane.
Yeah, he doesn't like basketball, so there you go.
I think football still has a lot of potential to become a more organized market because, man, it was all over the place this year.
Oh, I think it was all over the place because people were excited about it, jumping in, trying to figure it out, and got burned, and it'll stabilize.
Yes, it will. I bought a sweet CMAC 101 rookie this year. I mean, this week. I bought it this week. I was hoping it would come in by today, but it didn't. So next week.
You degenerate. You can't help yourself.
No, I can't.
You're going to own the whole run of that Mahomes Gold.
Yeah, I'm about to get my third one this week.
They're all PSA 9s, right?
No, the one on eBay right now is a PSA 8, but I still want it.
You need a 10.
Oh, I know. I badly need a 10.
I mean, they're hard to grade, clearly.
Right. All I know is this. For the cost of like 4 to 5 Luka Prism base PSA 10s, I can build like the sickest Christian McCaffrey collection ever, and I'm doing it, and I don't care.
That's what I love about players like that is the sentence you just said. I could build the sickest Karl Malone collection of all time.
Yes. It won't be of all time, but it will be a good one. And I've got like 5 rookie 101s right now. It's pretty sick.
There's got to be a CMAC super collector out there who's just going to destroy you, though.
Exactly. I won't be able to hold a candle to some of the there will be guys who way deeper, way more serious than me, but I'm going to have a sick CMAC collection by the time this is all said and done.
Yeah. All right, buddy.
All right, man.
We go check out SEC Sports Cards Culture. We just on your Card Ladder YouTube channel.
Card Ladder YouTube channel, new episode just dropped. In case 3 hours wasn't enough, there's even more awaiting you.
And the people that are still on watching all the way to the end, we're launching merch on Tuesday.
Yeah. Yes, we are. It's going to be
launching merch, and the mobile app is coming out next month.
Yes, it is. See you tomorrow, Jeremy. Oh, shit.
See you tomorrow, Jeremy. Both of us. We got to go get some sleep, man. We got a long day ahead of us tomorrow, too.
That's what I'm saying. Let's do that.
See you, man.
All right, buddy.
The future is here. An innovation that will change the way the industry works. A Hot 100 chart, updated daily. The most accurate price guide on the market. Every card has its own profile with a wealth of information. Know the precise, real-time value of any card in the system. On demand. You now have the power to unlock the secrets of the hobby. game changer is here. Card Ladder.